We lied. All I said was I find utopias to be boring. They're very. I mean, they're. I said they're very accurate. Oh, I'd read exactly what I said because I didn't say anything mean or bad. I just said that I prefer C7s. So someone posted that. Oh, where's it at? Where's it at? I may have to go dig for it for a second. Anyway, I said I prefer C7s. I feel they're funner. Whatever. Some person screenshotted it and like blacked out my name, but didn't.
It
And
was
then
so
Nick commented that shit.
Okay.
Just I don't whatever. But the side note, the post is gone, and the post is gone because after he commented that, one person was like, "Oh yeah, I don't like him." It went the other direction. There was a whole bunch of people saying, "I don't know, man. I think he knows what he's talking about, and he seems pretty cool." And
You're not cool, bro.
Some other guy was like, he's like, I used to hate him too, and then I listened to the podcast that he was on, and I was just taking him wrong. He's totally different.
Was it Josh that said that or no?
No, it was some other guy. So I don't know.
I mean, who the fuck knows? But I tell you, I wanted to go in, but I had already been through all that fucking 5 years ago with him when he went in with the audio dynamics thing, and I was like, I don't get as much credit. I also like if I defend you, then it's not as credible because you're my boy. You know what I mean? And like
there were people
right here, we're like giving each other hugs right here. This team of the three of us. You know what I mean? So I was like, I just liked what guys had to say, and like even guys were like, Damien, I just was liking the things. Even one guy was like, I don't agree with him, but he can have his opinion. Everybody's ears are different.
Yeah, and it's not like I said,
it's not
like I said, Focal shit. They make really good speakers.
Really amazing. Fantastic. When somebody's like, I want to use all Focal speakers in my build, I'm a fucking good idea. It's going to be fucking badass.
Facebook user. It was someone shared a screenshot of where I had said I prefer JLC7 speakers over Focal Utopias just because I find them more fun to listen to and more warmth. Anyway, I like them better. And I said Focals are technically accurate. I just find them boring. And it upset this one person. And then Nick Apicella or Apilica, however you pronounce it. I don't give a fuck.
I always said it was Apicella, but whatever.
Said that I wouldn't know a good sounding car if it hit me on the belly. To be fair, I would know if a car hit me, dumbass.
Maybe. I mean.
But, and then, I said, a couple of people were like, yeah, he sucks. But then it went the other way. A whole bunch of people just saying, I don't know, man, he's pretty good. And even, Jeffrey got in there. He's my boy. But he was like, yeah, dude, he knows what he's listening for. He like,
yeah. Jeff's breakdown was fantastic.
Yeah, and he was dead on the money. Like I don't have that tonal reference built yet for cars and for like I struggle to explain the sound, like what I'm hearing still. He was dead on the money. Almost like he's my boy or something. Weird.
Well, he also knows your experience level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, and he even says that he would say that I tune very well. I know what I'm doing.
Fuck yeah, I'm in. I think you've done a fucking great job.
Thank you.
And you've taught us a lot. And you've been a big help to us on everything we've done.
We're always learning. I mean, if I was a dumbass, the guys at JL are smart. They wouldn't keep inviting me around if I was a dummy.
Same. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's what it is it's inferiority, and Nick is not a dummy, but he clearly has an inferiority complex.
Something's going on. So, like the thing says,
struggling, like him being an arrogant asshole paid off for the beginning. And then over time,
that only works for so long.
That only works for so long where, you know what, being a fucking, what did the fucking guy, knuckle dragger, right? That's what the dude called me in person in my face. He was like, oh, you guys aren't just a bunch of knuckle draggers. And I was like, oh, and I looked at Colt, and Colt smiled at me hella big, and then we were talking, and I was like, come on, you fucking knuckle dragger, let's go. And we was time to fucking leave.
See, young Bobby would have drug his knuckles across that dude's face.
A little bit. I might be like, I mean, I'm not I wouldn't say I drag them, but like something happens with these fucking knuckles.
They're just
you fucking little
the same thing. You hear that
inferiority complex motherfuckers is what it is. Yeah. It is if like you have some shit going on and you're a professional and you're doing something and you feel threatened by somebody else doing a good job, then you're full of shit.
Yep.
Because when I see other people doing really cool shit, I know it's good for business for me.
So I knew that I was very, when you're first starting to do something, even when I first designed a box stuff, like, man, you're not overly confident. Well, I guess you can be, but I wouldn't, I was always worried a little bit. Now, if someone says something, you don't know what you're doing or blah, blah, it's like, man, you saying that just discredits you at this point. Like, come on. I'm confident in my abilities. I know what I'm doing. Am I going to say I'm, or like with SQ stuff, I'm the best tuner there is? No, bro. I'm not even, no. I don't even claim to be good at tuning, period.
I think I'm pretty fucking good. And I don't think I'm as good as you.
I'm just here.
I tune people's fucking cars and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, fucking cool. I'm like, dude, there's a whole team of motherfuckers who taught me how to do this that are even better than me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some people out there that have to just be tone deaf. Because like we go to a lot of shows and you hear cars and you're like, there's no way you think
like, how did you mess this up? This bad.
How does this sound good to you? Because it sounds like shit to me, like I just don't get
it. That's why,
there's a lot of cars like that. So maybe just some people don't.
No, I mean,
I don't feel like it's that hard to make a car sound decent. Like getting into the depths of tuning that you guys are doing is different, but just making your car sound like pretty good, not that hard.
Or realizing you can't turn it up anymore. Like, look, it's got more in it, but if you go more, it's gonna sound fucked up because we got some tuning issues. And we got to sort that shit out. So I actually put forth an effort. Like I even say this to the guys. I tell the guys, I'm like, look, man, that customer, he seemed pretty cool. Like he's that potential customer. He seemed pretty cool. But I'm afraid he thinks he knows better than us. And he's gonna fuck with his tune. Like, or like, somebody comes in, like, here, let me grab this call. It's my cousin. I need to grab him. What are you doing, kid?
So, like I was saying, you hear the saying, you'll never be talked shit to or talked down to by somebody doing better than you.
Right in the middle of
you know what I mean?
And
because like people who are actually out there
pulling up, and I was like, cool, I'm in here
doing a lot of work and doing good work.
Tomorrow.
But they're busy. They don't have time to be doing just random bullshit shit talking on the internet. Now, Bobby, so what I said was that you will most likely never be talked down to out of nowhere by someone doing more than you.
Yeah, it's and here's the thing is usually, and I say this all the fucking time, and I've said it recently a few times that it was 100% of the time, but we got to give Nick some credit because he's done some really nice shit.
Absolutely.
He's built some really beautiful builds. He's done some really good work. Now, he's talked way more punk ass bullshit than he's done awesome work, and that makes him kind of fucking lame. And he sucks.
I mean, and you get to the point where you build really pretty things and you say they sound good, but then you don't believe in competition, you don't believe in proving it. It's weird, man.
What a perfect stop to get frozen at.
Yeah, he was like,
I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. He's doing it too. He's all flashy. He's fucking goddamn max headroom over here. Yeah.
Connection is unstable. Well, I'm not even on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's getting better. People are starting to build their cars to sound better, but like, just if you're gonna have a lot of speakers in your doors, just fucking run active and split that shit up, dude. Like, you don't even need a DSP. Just
Yeah,
run
use
active
the crossovers well.
and just use the crossovers on the amp, dude. And like you're there.
You can do some safety shit if you're real aggressive. Cross some fucking tweeters over at 55 fucking 100 hertz. Cool. Your bullet tweeters, 6K, bitch.
Yep.
They're selling shit anyway. Section that shit out and let them go. And that's all they fucking need to do.
So
you're fucking 3-inch, 1,000 hertz, dude. 1,000 fucking hertz.
So with what Damien said here,
there needs to be something published. I mean, there already is, I guess. You just look at the manual, but for all bass heads out there, like for your mids, go like 120 to 500, well, maybe more, 800.
I'm going to be working on.
You guys aren't doing beers all today? It's just me.
No beers.
Well, I didn't get a chance to get any, but so I'm going to be working on like a basic how-to using this little guy,
like a 2-way and a 3-way.
$40, so people can, when they get whatever DSP, they can use their phone to record, to measure with this. And we're doing a basic how-to that's going to include just some generic starting points for crossover.
I wonder if like we can just kind of provide like a little free service at events and just like be like, hey, can I tune that shit for you a little bit, dog?
About last couple of years, I've been thinking about doing like a Thursday meet. This is,
I mean, depending how it's wired.
This is the Dayton Audio IMM
right,
6C. It is a USB-C little microphone. You plug in your phone in your.
It just gives you some data back.
Man, I gotta take advantage of that fucking spike in 9K, dog. You're like, but no, dude. Like you don't understand. It's like, nah, bro. Like that's
what the manufacturer said.
Yeah, dude.
So I wanted to talk about
everything's full range, subs and everything. Just fucking inverted subs.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about what Damien said. But he's obviously making a little joke, but just because it scores well in competition doesn't mean it sounds good. I mean, there are some orgs that their ideal vehicle to me doesn't sound that great, but that's why I like the money round at Aggie and these big shows, because the money rounds, your shit gotta sound good. It's got to be a good vehicle to do well.
I got a couple SQ demos.
Every SQ car I've ever heard sounded fucking fantastic.
The last one I got
was quiet.
But
they're not loud.
They're quiet, except for one. I mean, he had to beep a bop with some shit and make it jam.
I'm telling you, Aggie is 3 weeks out.
I was like, ooh, that is fucking cool. Right when we were in the middle of it was cool, he got in trouble because it was too loud. Because somebody else, a fucking one car, like not the car next to us, one car over was being judged. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, that's whack, bro. If a fucking car, 2 cars over, is playing.
Look, you come to Aggie, you're not gonna have that problem. They out here ripping and getting out here.
Yeah. I'm going to fucking Aggie, and I'm excited about it.
Let me ask you something for you, Drew. I guess more Bobby too, but like, is the IB thing kind of like, I wouldn't say new, but something that more people are doing in SQ now than they used to? Because I like that out of those 30-something cars, there was quite a few of them had IB setups. Like,
I saw an IB car, an IB SQ car, like
a bunch of them have been running.
And I thought it was cool. He only had a single 10.
So are people doing that and like a sealed sub for the?
Yes. So the IB is normally
just for the low.
Yeah. So that's normal. Well, that's if they have a lot of mid bass,
right?
A lot of mid bass. Like,
so if you have a lot of mid bass, you're
like my local buddy has 2 10s IB that are for his mid bass, so he has a ton of it.
For his mid bass, they're IB.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
The guy.
So why
generally? I'm bad at remembering this gentleman's name, and he's given me my favorite SQ demos I've ever had, and his car fucking jams, and it's beautiful. It's got all this badass dyno stuff. What?
Is it Richard?
No.
Is it better to run
Hank,
This is confusing. Is it better for IB for
man
your
name
mids and wires or the steel
Asian
boxes?
dude with a silver Mercedes, and he has 312s IB for the subsystem and two 10-inch IBs for mid bass drivers in the kicks in this Mercedes. And like the SQ demo is like a notch level higher, louder than any other SQ. And then when I asked him to let it rip, he gave me a bunch more. And then I was like, "Is there even more?" And like, and I felt it, and he was like, "I can do this," and he beep a bopple, and it was
how are
fucking
the
ripped,
10s?
man.
How are the 10s mounted IB? How does that work? They cut holes in his floor or something?
Oh yeah, they're cut the metal in the fucking kicks.
Hold on, I shoved some pictures of Brad's.
Dropped it in, and they were, and then he said he had like a big, you know, like foamy sponge thing to make it so that no moisture and shit would make it up to the drivers. And he drove the car around all the time.
Yeah, Brad
it's fucking awesome. I think he won everything you could possibly win at Surf last year, Steve.
So like why are we putting our mids in sealed boxes? Is it because we can't
blow our fucking mids to pieces?
Pressure control.
Okay, there you go.
Imagine like
that makes sense.
You'd be like, oh, like you'd blow the whole fucking basket apart. Like the fucking, you'd be like, oh, it's the motor of my mid on the ground outside.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
You might give me a couple DBs on the mic with the old fucking carport, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's a picture of Brad's.
Your fucking kick score would go through the fucking roof, son. I don't know if T-line is practical in an SQ car. It'd be so incredibly challenging to not have some form of horrific.
Let me give me a second. I'll save all these photos to a folder so I can zoom in.
The Eric Humphreys, you'd have group delay like a motherfucker from a T-line at some frequency or another. So usually it's IB or sealed. And I'm leaning a little more towards, I think it would be fucking badass to have, like Steve was saying, when he said it, I was like, fuck, that'd be cool. What if you had like one of those big 24s in an IB and you had two 10W7s sealed, and then you had, you know, maybe some mid-bass, maybe in an enclosure, maybe IB, I don't know. And that way, something that'll really fucking rip. That's the hard part, right? Like, I swear sometimes, like, even some of these like loud, you know, daily driver trucks that I build, the, you know, 4.8s and fucking 8,000 watts and you know, an MVI DSP and a big ass 4-channel drive the mids and a shitload of, they sound fucking beautiful. If you just turn the volume down a whole bunch, they're like, I mean, you couldn't really compete in an SQ comp, but everybody would fucking love it. And then if you asked, you know, if you're at Surf and you were to fucking put people through all the vehicles, if like just the people walking around, if they actually gave fucking demos, because so many SQ people fucking don't, if like the crowd of people came by and wanted to get a fucking demo, they'd be like, yep, that guy wins. It's fucking loud and it sounds titties. It's fucking super fun. That was cool.
You talking about bridging the mid basses, the 6.5s? That's exact. So that's how my truck is 808 bridge mid basses, C7 3s, stereo integrity. You're gonna probably want to do 8s in the doors just for that extra output. But I mean, it's plenty loud enough. Plenty. No, I don't know.
Yeah. We make some really fucking bitching 8-inch mid bass drivers that have a very fucking shallow mounting depth. Like 3-inch mounting depth on our Gately Audio 8s. We'll have them in another 2 months.
So this is the kick on his passenger side in the Jeep. There's a local buddy of mine, Brad. Straight up through the floor.
Nice clean cut there.
Go down through again. Anyways, can you see there? Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah. That looks really good.
6s cut into the dash.
Are
218s IB.
Are the 6s IB?
I think so. No, that might be
No.
sealed. I don't know exactly.
I don't think so. That'd be weird.
What's he got in the door? He's got some in the door too.
No,
What is that? Is that a dime?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's a really cool fucking tweeter. But man, imagine popping one of those fucking things.
He has.
Like, oh.
Where's the picture of him sitting in the damn? There it is. Yeah, SPL guy stuff.
Yep.
Steel plate for the 18s. Steel box.
Is it a sealed box or is it
No, it's IB.
Okay.
I thought I had a picture of it. It's a mesh bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it sounds good. Aftermarket stereo or DSP in the Jeep or just in general? Because in general, both. I guess you don't need the radio. But...
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's man. We got thrown a bit of a curveball on a project we're working on. My Aunt Debbie contacted me and she's like, I decided I'm going to keep this little Lexus that I have that I love. I wish I remembered the model of the car, but I did some research, contacted one of our local distributors that provides us like pack modules and Maestro products and things of that nature. And I looked up some stuff on like Crutchfield and I looked at some people talking online. And I didn't see any information about it having any speakers in the front doors. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And it had listed 4-inch speakers on the dash, left, right, and center, all three the same. And so I was like, sick.
What vehicle is this?
It's a Lexus something 200. Little 4-door, nice car. A couple years old. It's like 2020 or something, I guess. But anyway, and I was like, shit, I'm going to put one of those, if that's the whole front stage, I'm going to put a ribbon module in there. And, they're all three the same. That makes it a little easier. It should sound fucking awesome. That's not what we found when we cracked this car open. The center channel of the dash is a fucking 3-inch. The two fronts are right, but it has 8-inch fucking mid-bass drivers in the front doors. I was like, okay, this is better, but fucking different. And then the Maestro DSR1 integration
junk
doesn't work with that car. Hey, I've seen them work real good, but that one, it doesn't work. They were like, hey, that ain't gonna work. But so we're using key locks going into and now we're using 2 VXIs. We got an 808 and a 1005, and we're bridging everything. And I got Morel 4-inch fucking point source coaxes in the dash. We're skipping the center channel because it was only a little puny 3-inch. It wasn't going to work the way we wanted it to. Morel 6.5-inch point source in the rear doors. And we're going to do a Gately Alpha 8 in a 1 cubic foot ported box because it's only 600 watts running the sub, so it's relatively low power. So we put it in a little bigger box, get some efficiency and a little bit more bandwidth. So we have the solutions and we're getting through it. And we put Gately Proto 8-inch mids in the front doors. So this thing with all those bridged fucking channels, it should fucking rip. So we're excited. It should be fun. Yeah. So I'm okay with people having some beers and even smoke a little pot at the SQ show. Just don't play any big crazy bass because the fucking SQ guys will die. And don't get like fucking shit faced and make a mess of my parking lot or sexually harass anybody other than me. Yeah, something like that.
Hell yeah!
Definitely sexually harass me. I'm good with that.
You should absolutely do that.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
So I think I'm so in the Tahoe I've had all sundown highs amps whatever. I think I'm going to remove the 2 that power the pillars and run a VXI 808 per pillar.
I want to play with some of the 600.2s to get some big power.
Well, I thought about doing that on the doors, but I think I might still want more power than that. So, but I'm gonna do the 808s. That way, I can run optical from the iPad into the amps and not have any chance of noise in the tweeters and threes. So like zero, it's impossible because it'd be all digital. And I was gonna do optical into 2 more amps to power the doors, but
wouldn't it be cool if the key lock had an optical output?
that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you saw Kickers hiring for a integration engineer in research and development.
Cool.
I mean, I can tell them what ideas I have, but I can't engineer that shit.
Well, what I'm saying is they might be working on that.
It'd be nice to see him have a DSP come out.
How much power do you think I need to put to each Neo Pro 12?
5,000 watts.
Roughly.
That's what the Stonewall guys would do.
A Brazilian fucking amp.
I had a dude last night saying he had
some 5K on each of those fucking things.
He now has a JP 10.4 or something, like the big ass 4 channel on 8/8s in his inside his cabin. He's like, it's not enough. I'm like, bullshit. Boy, shut up. Turn it up. He's like, I had a Terra Amps 8K and it was louder. I'm like, ooh.
It sounded louder. It sounded louder because it was crunchier.
It's like, bro, turn it up. Like, there's no way 5,000 watts on 8/8s is not loud enough. You're just not turning it up. That's just all. That's all that is. Especially if it's in your cabin.
Cancellation, massive cancellation. You know what I mean? Like if you have a stunt door and you fucking close that thing up, you got, oh, bro, I got fucking 16/8 in my door or 16 6.5 in my door. And they swing them open, loud as fuck. Close it up, and you're like, "Who's even that loud in there?" It's like, well, like they're all canceling out at you, like fucking. But
yeah. So I think 808s for the pillars, 2 3s per every 2 channels bridged. I don't know yet. I want to run digital to the pillar so we don't hear any noise. No chance.
Yeah, the fucking van is making some fucking noise. I think it might be an RCA thing. The amps are a little congested and you got fucking cables and shit going everywhere. I want to move a bunch of shit around. It's driving me nuts.
And sometimes it's obviously really hard to pin down sometimes. And sometimes you get lucky and just don't get it. And sometimes you do the exact same thing and it's just there.
Oh, man, we've had a really good run. So I'm like bound to have a fucking big issue with it for a period of time. Just based on the fact that I talk so much shit and that I haven't had an issue in a while.
Oh, you know what I could do? I could do a JL HD 1200 per door because their response is 6 hertz to 8,000. Well, that'd be brutal.
1200 will make more than 2,000 watts.
Yeah, it'll be a 2.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Go.
Sorry. I'll say sorry too.
I was just thinking about the RCA thing or your noise. Like, have you gone through it at all and tried?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we've done a few things. You know what? I'm pretty confident it's the alternator because it never had any fucking issues. And then it ate an alternator, and then Mercedes warrantied it, and now it makes the fucking noise.
Damn it, Mercedes!
Well, can't you doesn't that put out like? Well, how did the alternator go out?
I'm pretty sure I killed it.
I wonder if
I had fucking lithium battery in there, and I'm beating the shit out of the audio system when I had that 18 in there on a fucking 6K, just smashing around town. And
the only thing you changed was the alt. The only thing you changed was the alt.
Well, since then we've changed a bunch of shit, so we want to make sure that we go over everything.
Wiring wise,
we added 2 more amps, and we added a Riven fucking module, and we've done some things, so we got a lot to look at. There's a little suspect of maybe it's the Riven piece, so we need to kind of fuck around and start
removing pieces from it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it could just be wire. Because like it just seems so random sometimes.
You have to have like a little. You have to have a couple little mini cock blocks. No, a fix wouldn't do shit for me. We use the key lock. That does what we need to do. The fix won't do dick.
What does a fix do?
Not
it'll sum and flatten.
The only thing that does
factory signal, but it won't correct. It won't correct for all paths,
and it won't do a whole lot of equalizing either. It won't fix what's missing, even though it's called a fix. It'll sum really well. So
are you putting VXI amps in a lot?
What's that?
Are you using VXI amps a lot?
I have 3 VXI amps in the van.
But just for later, whenever you do like high level input into a VXI or something, like even if you use a fix, you could do an optical loop back and get input EQ, so you could correct it if you needed to.
Well, so I should be able to do that now.
Yeah, you go so signal in.
Yeah.
However it comes in normally, like RCA or whatever.
Yeah.
Straight out the optical,
so I have
back in.
So I have a VXI hub that connects them together with some of the opticals. So I have to.
You could do. I think you can use the hub and still do it.
I wonder if there's a way to do it using part of the hub.
Yeah, I haven't.
I'm like,
I'd have to mess with it.
So what does that do, Drew? You go out right back into the amp.
Wow, yep. So you go right out the optical output and right back in the optical input, and it gives you more EQ bands on that.
And it has an optical, so it'll often fix a noise issue.
It could, and it won't add it either.
Is that something they built into it, or did somebody figure that out on accident?
No, I mean loopbacks are just something that I guess people figured out. I think I figured it out. I think I figured it out on my own, but then the jail guys were like, "Yeah, people do that." I was like, "Oh, I thought I was on to something here."
Okay.
It creates the ability to have a global EQ. So after you've equalized each individual channel to make it be perfectly flat and awesome, then with your ears, you can go in and be like, it's still a little hot over here at 2,500, and you can bring that shit down, and it'll bring it down if it's a little bit over here on the end of the tweeter, and and a big part of the mid, the higher or mid.
Yeah, you can adjust the entire side.
It'll be really nice. You won't. It'll smooth out how they transition between one another, and it's easier. You can go in and be like, I'm looking at this one section, but it's everything. I'm going to pull this guy down a little here, bump that guy a tiny bit there, and pull that guy over there, and the whole thing sounds better, and you're fucking done.
The way my truck's wired, it's RCA signal in to the bass amp from the radio, and then RCA out the bass amp to the 8-channel. So from that connection is a left and right EQ plus all pass filter added.
What are the amplifiers?
So 808 and 1001. Yeah, exactly. Then I do the optical loop back in the highs amp. So I have a global left right EQ and a global sum EQ also.
Nice.
So that basically, when you say global EQ, it's like you're saying it takes all of your 3-way, the whole thing.
Yeah. So normally, for a 3-way, you adjust each speaker EQ individually.
Right. And then this adjusts all as one.
Yeah. Then you can you can do the whole side. Yeah, like the whole input signal for that side, you can adjust.
Huh. That's interesting. And then it kind of like knows. Well, I guess you already have it already crossed
you're just
over.
Controlling the channels.
Yeah. So
it doesn't know.
You're just controlling the full range signal.
Okay, so
you're just like putting an EQ in before the amp.
It's like adjusting it on the head unit.
That.
I got you. So you're basically telling it how much of each signal. You're boosting certain parts of the signal.
Boosting or dropping the signal before it even gets to the channels.
All broken apart.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's other DSPs can do it, like the Helix stuff can do it digitally inside of itself, but Helix is weird.
You get confused when you're doing that shit. But yeah.
But I got pissed off at Helix over the weekend. I went to make an adjust. So I was tuning that Tesla, and I wanted to adjust all the front stage time at once and add delay to everything. And in tune, you can go and just set the distance for the furthest speaker. You can increase the feet distance, and it'll add delay to everything else. I went to do that in the Helix, and it just deleted all the delay. I'm like, you bitch.
You know, like, I mean, you know, now you know. The more you know, like you're like, oh, I fucked myself. Thank you. Things don't work the same in that thing as they do in that thing.
Nope. And then I had just spent like 20 minutes level matching because I forgot to do it when Max was in there. So I do the tune. I get in. The image is all blown out. It's horrible. I'm like, bro, what the fuck happened? And then I was like, oh my god, I forgot to level match. You know, make every speaker the same loudness at your head. I was like, all right, let me do that. Spent 20 minutes doing that. It was good. And then the delay thing happened. I was like, mother. And there's no back button. So I had to like reload the last tune. Nope. Well, it's bad. Mad as hell.
They really should add that. Can we do that in JL?
Yeah, there's the back button holds like the last 100 changes or something.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't had to do that shit in JL. I'm so
shit's because shit makes sense.
Or I fuck something up and don't realize I fucked it up until later, and then I'm like, let's just start over. But yeah.
Oh, so did you see the new script that I got that should be available soonish to people? I can measure speaker THD from like an actively playing speaker, and I can measure actual efficiency dBSPL over power. So you see how much power is going in and how loud it is coming out. Give you a ratio, how loud it is per volt or whatever.
I just thought I saw that, but I just thought that was some cool ass shit you were doing.
No, that's something that me and Nick been going back and forth on. So like if you put a 10-inch Pro Mid in your door, you can measure, see how efficient it is, how loud it is. Then you can change it out and do it again.
Right,
and you can actually see.
You're like, weird. This 8 is doing way better. Or this
you can actually see how.
Better. I don't know why.
And so the new build of Tune has it's actually the new build of Tune should release this week, but it has the generator can unlock from FFTs, so it's no longer bound to the FFT bins, which is how it's like the measurement chunk, and the generator's been locked to that, so it can only generate. So say you want to generate 40 hertz, it'd be 40.05 or something. It'd be shifted. It wouldn't be exactly 40 hertz. You can now unlock from that, and you can generate 40.1 hertz tones, or Carlos uses the 0.1.
Yeah.
We'll be able to generate. I think we measured we did 60.005 hertz, and it generated an exact 60.005. So we could go hyper accurate with frequencies. But using that and the THD script, the efficiency script, I guess I'm helping with it now too. But you're gonna build a script that will automatically run the generator and track efficiency. So you set the mic like in where you're going to be metering, and it'll automatically run the generator in the vehicle and find the most efficient frequency.
So let's go back for a quick second and talk a little bit about what Blake was saying and what you were saying about what you can measure. Mm-hmm. Imagine you get in somebody's vehicle, right? Customer, and they fucking turn that shit up and it's got pretty significant distortion, and you're like, man, and they're like, this is what I like, and I'm like, this is gonna melt your fucking speakers, and they're like, oh, and you go, look, dude, this is how much fucking distortion you're rocking. You're at 30.5%, dude. Like, can you look? Let me show you right here. If I show you, this is 15, and this probably isn't going to melt your speakers. Like, but this 35 and up shit you're doing is going to melt your fucking speakers. Can you fucking not do that? Let me show you how. And they go, fuck. And they're like, I
need more speakers
myself to listen to fucking shit.
Yep.
Man, you're not. I am guilty. I like it to be super fucking loud, and I won't realize, like, even my van right now, even that little, I mean, it's really low fucking engine noise. The reason why when I do the fucking video, they can hear it. The motherfucker's an inch away from the speaker. Like, I hardly know it's fucking there. I know it's there.
Yep.
So I don't want it there anymore. We're going to fix it. But I'm driving around fucking jamming. It sounds fucking outstanding. It's beautiful. I'm rocking that motherfucker out. But I was cruising to the shop and I was listening to Offspring this morning and I'm fucking yelling along to the music. And all of a sudden I'm like, I smell speakers. And it's not the subwoofer.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, let me turn that motherfucker down a little bit. And they're fine. Everybody's happy. But I was like, oh boy. We start smelling mids, man. We know we're doing something. Right,
will
Steve?
that thing you guys are working on, will it tell you the source distortion?
No. Well, you could figure it out.
You'd have to check first.
You could play the speaker or you could unhook the speaker, check the signal going into it, and that'll tell you what's playing through that. You know, you got to use sine wave and all this, but you got to use sine waves, and then you can do the.
And you should.
I
You're
think
like,
that's
all right,
why
I'm clean. Woofer, turned it up. Is it still clean? It's not fucking clean. Something's fucky. It's distorting. And
right, like when I had that temporary setup in the Explorer with the cans on the roof. So I fried a head unit, a Sony, the ones I liked when I was using head units, and then I borrowed one because I didn't have time to get another one. I borrowed a cheap ass like Boss head unit because it just needed signal, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that thing was ultra dirty because it fucking I had all Kicker Q class speakers in the door at one point. It roasted all those, and it roasted obviously all the fucking cans. So. Yeah, checking your source distortion is very important. Don't use a shitty source.
Yep.
So, talk us through this, Drew. This is exciting.
So the light blue is it's a JL like 6.5-inch sub in a box with maybe 3 watts playing through it. That's the impedance, and that's the impedance of it. And the tuning of the enclosure would be the 43.1 because that's the lowest resistance point.
Okay. Yeah.
The darker blue is turned up to about 25-ish watts. The exact same thing, just turned up a little bit. Shifted the enclosure tuning to 41.7 and dropped the resistance of everything a little bit. The impedance
and
of
that woofer will handle 250 watts. So now.
So this is showing. So this started with doing it without enclosure, just a speaker, and you could watch which I plan on doing probably this weekend. I'm gonna measure a speaker at 1 or like 5 watts or something very little that the Dayton normally does, and then I'm gonna measure it with like 1,000 and then 2,000. Like here's the TS parameters from 3 watts, 1,000 watts, 2,000 watts. Look how different all these are.
You know what? Another one you can show me is here's the parameters at fucking 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and you will see a fucking dramatic fucking difference there as well.
Are you going to be able to get TS parameters like how a Clipple's getting TS parameters?
So using impedance data, you can extrapolate TS, which is all the Dayton's doing. It's just using the impedance data to fill it all in. Tony DeMore, whenever the IMSG released, he released a couple Excel sheets that you could fill out. It will give you parameters. And then this was a max, well, my max versus measuring next to an AP 585 for accuracy measurements to show that they display the same thing. And they do.
This was what we were doing that last time we were there together, right in that moment when I was hanging out with you and Nick, and you guys were blowing my fucking mind at how incredibly powerful a max is.
Yeah, so it was that we did that again. We just recorded it. We just Yeah,
because you were like, you guys were like, we're gonna try it, and I was like, what is happening? And I was like, wow, fuck. I was all super impressed. I was, I mean, I don't really know exactly what the fuck is going on right there.
So this is
I know that showing the max is almost as accurate in many aspects as an AP is fucking incredible.
That formula that Tony put out, can you basically build a script that Max would just like
Possible.
put the data in automatically and just spit out TS for you, so you don't have to even bother doing that?
Definitely possible.
Then I mean, you got a $50,000 machine there for.
Well, so the
distance.
The clip will use a laser and stuff to determine a bunch of like very advanced data. We would still be like just using impedance, which is accurate but not laser.
Not laser accurate, right?
Yeah. And then we did. Where's one that? Oh, I like this one. So there's 250 microvolts, so 0.25 millivolt, and they're same. Obviously, the noise floor on the AP is in the dirt, just well below max, but they are accurate beyond that. So I did all that just so when I post measurements in the going forward, I know my measurements are accurate to at least a 585 and a 555. So
right, because because there's fucking losers that try to discredit the max.
They that or even that. I don't give a shit. I mean, fuck them. They in the kitchen. I'm in my she shed. They can kick rocks, bud. Right. I just want the validation. Like they're like people measure things, but they don't have a known reference. They're just assuming it's accurate, right? I now know my measurements are accurate. Yeah. So John, we're JL Max versus Audio Precision 585 and 555, just to prove accuracy.
This circles back to something I talk about frequently, and based on what you've shown, everybody here watching will pick up a little better what I'm putting down. How often do you see somebody design a box of some wild fucking form, and they're like, "Oh, bro, and I built this fucking tapped horn for these 4/8, and it was fucking incredible. It was so fucking badass," and you're like, "Okay, it worked correctly. What was your reference?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "What did you get?" "Well, before that, I had 1/8 in there. I had fucking 2/12s in there. I had." You're like, "Okay, take those exact fucking subs and stick them in a good old-fashioned boarded box, built to specifications, and then you fucking tell me that your fucking tapped horn was this extraordinary fucking thing." Because until then, I'm gonna say that in my experience, any of those fucking things that I've seen heard, without it being gargantuanly fucking larger and using that massive badass mechanical amplifier, I'm gonna say it probably isn't as loud as a fucking boarded box. Probably doesn't sound as good either.
That's one of the things I've questioned is like you see these crazy designs people do, and even when they post some like random term lab scores or something, they're like, "Oh, it sounds great." I'm like, I've never heard one that did. So, how do you know?
Now I've seen some really cool shit that performed really well, but I'm like, dude, that's fucking pretty badass, man.
You've seen Nick
God, I'd really like to know what that fucking thing did compared to a good old. Yes, the Ruthless Van is indeed a tapped horn, and it is fucking incredible.
But Damien, it's funny you bring that up. I was talking about that with somebody I know who created a. How did he word it? And so it uses an electrical transducer on a piece of metal, or I guess anything metal specifically. You attach the metal to the thing. And as the metal deforms, it puts out a millivoltage that can be read. So you can measure flex. So using that, along with like the dB/SPL over voltage calculation, so we could do proper deadener testing by measuring how much vibration and flex there is, and then how much energy is coming out via dB/SPL over voltage. Because all the current deadener testing is just done with a single SPL mic and some prayer. But that's one of those things. Like, man, it's a lot of effort, but maybe one day. Because there's the current deadener testing that like Nick Apocella's had done. To say they're not transparent with some of the data would be nice. They're not tracking. I don't think they track power because they use a speaker. I don't think they tracked power applied. They didn't do it right, number one, because they didn't use the same mass of deadener. They cut like a 6x6 inch piece of deadener, and then that was their reference. But one deadener is gonna be heavier than the other. You need to do a mass per mass.
You could have the exact same brand of the thicker of the fucking two, and all of a sudden
it needs to be mass per mass, not just
like they could be coming out of the exact same fucking manufacturer in fucking China, and you're like, my shit is 8.8 mil versus their shit that's 8 mil, and you're like, look, my 6x6 square is fucking way better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what a guy like Nick, who is the way he is, I don't trust any of his own anything. Period.
Yeah, he's okay with bullshit because he'll lie.
Seen Jay use the J and L. He has the what's he got? He has the woofer tester too, but Morello has a Clipple. So now they have a Clipple. So all their new stuff is Clipple tested because they got that money now.
Now let's circle back here real quick. Don't think that I'm talking shit about tap horns. They're pretty fucking badass.
I am.
That's okay. The fucking the rootless fucking Hurst is an absolute fucking unit of output that is pretty fucking super duper wild. It's fucking incredible, and it's just gonna keep going. And Chris that designed and helped build that shit is a fucking badass and builds some really awesome builds. So I love that shit. Now it's pretty unrealistic to be like, let's tear that shit out and throw a fucking ported box for fucking 818s in the. But I'm talking about like, there was this dude and he was going on about how his Rockford 16-inch woofer was fucking just the most amazing fucking thing ever. And he had built this box that fit in the trunk of his car that was a T-line, right? And I'm like,
big as shit.
T-line for a 16-inch woofer should be a little bigger than your average refrigerator if you're really going to get real output out of it. And he was like, oh, well, it's like this quarter scale type of T-line that my buddy designed. And I'm like, try that shit in a regular fucking ported box and tell me if it's more awesome before you fucking say how really fantastic this fucking thing is. And the dude got all mad at me. Now, this is a while back, but also there was these guys that built this fucking tap torn for 4/8s, and they fucking just wouldn't fucking shut up about how badass it was. And when I heard it in person, I was like, I don't see that this is like this incredibly massive, awesome thing compared to like one of my truck boxes that's a fucking fraction of the size of this fucking thing. So I don't understand.
I'm with you.
So fucking excited. Try to build a fucking ported box. It'd literally be 2/3 of the size of this fucking monstrosity, and it would use less than half the material. And then you tell me, oh no, the fucking tap horn was for sure significantly better. When you do that, then I might believe you. But in the meantime, it's not as impressive as you're fucking saying it is. You know what I mean? There's so often so many people that are like, oh, this is fucking so amazing. And I'm like looking at them all. The most impressive piece of this is how impressed you are. Because I don't fucking get it.
Yep. So, John, deadener show by the sheet or whatever. This deadener specifically is focused towards SQ guys, and they're not doing layers of anything. They're doing 25% coverage, 50% coverage. There's a couple ways they go about it, but
none of them give a fuck about how much it costs. If you're talking about bang for buck, the Nick Apicella shit is way low, which I'm a fan of. It probably works real good for the most part,
and it does.
It's real fucking good. But you're not like, I saved a bunch of money on sound buying Resniks. No. You bought really gangster shit that works really, really good, and you paid a fucking premium for it. Count on that.
The way it was tested, it leaves too many variables. Because if you do like I say, a 6-inch by 6-inch piece, you may get an extra thin part of the butyl on this one deadener, or an extra thick part somehow on this other deadener, and that'd be real convenient.
Or even just it's spec'd differently.
Yeah.
If it was spec'd the same, then okay.
Mass for
And
mass.
maybe at that point you try fucking 5 different pieces and 5
But-
different pieces. But even if you just called it 1 for 1, if you were like, hey, this is fucking 120 mil versus this other 120 mil, and you went this for that, and you're like, hey, look, this is other high-end brand. This is my super high-end brand, and I'm fucking better. You go, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know,
But
hey, we tried every other shit
I will
exists.
say this. So Nick had some of the sundown torch on deadener, you know, the stuff that turns into fucking concrete. He had it because he was bitching because this is whenever he was still pretending to be my friend. You know, using me for marketing is what he said. Which
what he said.
That's literally what he said. Which I'm like, I'm fine with
Literally what
being
he
used,
said,
but
Steve.
tell me,
He
like,
was like, oh, I was just being cool with him because I was using him for marketing.
I'm like, damn, okay, like he could have told me. If you want to use me for marketing, but just tell me, we could do it. But anyway, so he had sundown deadener because he was bitching about how it smelled. So I know he put it on something, and then it disappeared. I bet he put it on that tester, and it just made the panel silent because you have to torch the shit on. It turns into a brick. So it probably outperformed everything by a country fucking mile at killing resonance. And he's like, this shit got to go.
I have a fucking 170, which is the long Sprinter van, high roof. And I have a lot of that fucking sundown deadener. 1 full layer everywhere and a few spots, 2 layers where it's big open panels. And we did the plywood roof on it. And then this was gangster shit that me and Tyson thought up. I thought up the process. Tyson picked the right material. We adhered the metal roof reinforcement slats to the roof and to the plywood roof with windshield adhesive. Dude, my fucking van is silent.
Bro, you could flip that thing and it'd be good.
That'd be all right. Dude, I hit big bumps on the road and it used to sound like a fucking explosion.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I drove it. I remember.
And you'd be like, fuck, dude. This motherfucker's annoyingly loud. Now, it's like you hit a bump and it's like, and you're like, that's right. There's only like, 40 hours of effort and fucking goddamn $1,000 of material into this bitch, but here we are.
That's what the floor of my Duramax is. It has some two layers, like a on each side in the footwell where your feet go, a thick layer of sundown torch on deadener, and then some CLD here and there, and then the foam stuff that down for sound cells.
I think I want to so we're working on that Escalade ESV for Jim. And that motherfucker's going to have 918s with fucking 8,000 watts on each sub. It's going to be pretty fucking rowdy. I think I want to pull the dash out of that motherfucker and go up the whole firewall with that before we even turn that motherfucker on. Because, I'm like, we're going to already reinforce the floor and the roof is going to be fucking steel. So, like, are we just going to blow the fucking firewall off the fucking truck? Like, and that could be horrific issues. So,
what year is the truck?
15, 16.
Go ahead, pull the dash out, and weld some steel strips. Go ahead, just do it.
Weld steel strips, and then cover that shit in the sundown. 2 layers. That should be all right.
And then that's not even that thick. Like, you better put everything back in.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jim, Bobby, how the truck came there? Safe, sound, everything was.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Good.
That motherfucking thing has like intermittent wild ass fucking engine noise right now. Like I turned it on one time, and motherfucker was just like not a fucking peep, and I'm like, cool, right on, we're good. We do what we did. It's good. And Jim had said, hey man, it's making kind of really fucked up engine noise. So he called me on the phone. He was like, it kind of went away, or it went away. And I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Mine does that too. My truck, not the Explorer, but my daily. Every once in a while, I'll turn it on, and it'll be the worst engine noise fucking ever. And then it just goes.
I think that's alternator shit. When it's that intermittent, it's like the alternator's like, I got a bunch of water in me or some shit, or I don't know, man. It was. I fired that thing up and to drive it to the storage place, and it was like screaming at me, like, and I was like, this is not fucking cool,
Danny.
And I just turned everything off and just drove it silent. And when I pulled up to the fucking place, I turned everything back on. I turned on the beep, and it didn't make a fucking beep. I'm all, dude, what the fuck, man? How am I gonna troubleshoot that shit? So,
Danny, you're gonna need to explain what you mean by windshield rattle, because Your windshield's a solid piece of glass. I mean,
Yeah,
is
you
it,
gotta glue
is
that
it
motherfucker
is it
on.
broken?
Yeah.
Bobby, did you guys book a house for Slam yet?
I think my wife did.
I think I'm looking at that same house that was in that neighborhood that we were all next to each other. I'm gonna try to get in that motherfucker. Oh God, man, everything comes up so fast, man. Every show is like Slam is not that far away now.
And that's how I felt. So this weekend I was at JL, and someone mentioned Aggie in it's like 3 weeks. I was like, wait, what? Motherfucker. It is. And my truck's like not here. So I was like, I need to get on that.
I know the war horses are coming soon. I need to get with my schedule, like between now and Slam, I have almost no days off. So it's gonna be a lot of after work figuring shit out, like an hour here, an hour there. So it's gonna take me a while. I need these ants like ASAP if I'm gonna be getting them in there, you know?
Yep.
And
I'm gonna try to get the Tahoe to Slam, but I'm also not gonna rush it at this point. Like I want it to be like when it comes back out, it's gonna come back out like hot. So
yeah, I don't. That's kind of the same thing. Like it's already playing really well right now. I could take it to Slam, and I know I could play all weekend. So unless I have at least a couple weeks to work out any bugs, then I almost like I really can't do it. You know, I don't want to take the risk. I just don't have the time or the manpower, to be honest.
it seems but it was basically a high pitched squeak coming for the dash meets the windshield. So you have the dash mounts are loose and your dash is flexing. The windshield isn't flexing. And your windshield might be flexing, but it's not going to be a high pitched squeak because then you just wouldn't have a windshield anymore. That'd be
well, your dash is obviously touching the windshield.
Yeah, something's rubbing, but it's just something against the windshield, maybe not the windshield itself.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? You had me at rubbing.
Windshield. He said, he got a new windshield and it seems to be sealed well, but after a few weeks of base, there's a high pitched squeak coming from where the dash meets the windshield. I said it's just the dash flexing, and then she says rubbing the windshield. I was like, yeah, probably.
That sucks.
At least 30.
The showdown, it was playing in the low 20s. Fine.
That's plenty low enough
for a fourth. Yeah. That's super low.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I keep closing that port up, I could get it to more authority, a little bit lower.
I want to start shrinking the seal chamber if you're losing
exactly. Shrink the seal chamber, you'll fucking gain on the lows too. But man,
that's
25, 22, 25. I mean, 22 hertz is like real low for a fourth, man.
I've never heard a system that played below 20 with authority that sounded good playing anything else. Never, not once. Like they sound floppy.
Yeah,
they sound.
I think when you get to like Greg Corbin's level, it comes down to power.
Well, that's also a full extreme. Yeah, that's like hump console and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even without the hump,
I don't know that you've actually heard the fucking Soulgasm yet, because that motherfucker will give you 16 hertz and fucking flap your face off, and it'll sound really smooth playing everything else. It's really pretty, man.
I don't think I have. Well, yeah, I think the way most people are doing it isn't the way.
Well,
most of these guys are just doing
thing, right. This is stuff that me and Ray Pimley have talked about like a dozen times. When I design a fucking sixth order, it's a fourth order with a big leak.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Like God, I can't remember what dude's name is. He used to build some cool shit. He's totally out of the game now because like nobody gave a fuck about him. I don't know, but I was communicating with him online. We were messaging back and forth, and he kind of like started kind of talking shit when I was like, hey man, we've had these incredible results with some of these builds that we've done that really starts with Ray Pimley's build. And Ray was the epitome of fucking around. And like, he's like, man, I took the 8-inch ports that the enclosure was designed to and put 6-inch ports, and it was, it's fucking less than half the space. And it got way better, lower, and didn't lose shit high, and just kept on fucking with it. And he would like put in a fucking another 2x4 and drive fucking 15 miles from his house and sit there and fuck with it. Meter, checking fucking data, writing all the shit down. driving back home, put another 2x4 in, drive way the fuck back out, test it again. He kept on doing that shit. And then, you know, I started like asking him questions and I collected a bunch of data from him and I talked about it. I'm like, dude, I'm going to model this box.
Don't do that.
At fucking, no. I don't mean model it like I'm going to look at it in software. I didn't give a fuck about the software. I knew the fucking results it would get. I was like, this fucking thing murders 17, 18 hertz like nothing I'd ever seen before. And it'll do a fucking 60 fucking 3 at fucking 40 something hertz. It was badass. And it would kill fucking lows in race sheep.
That's not most of them. Most of them go from like 20 to 40, and there's like a 12 dB delta between the two, and they say that it plays it. Like, no, it's not playing it. It might be making noise.
It's playing it. It's just not doing it with authority.
But and a lot of people don't. A lot of these builds, and most people, I don't think I've ever heard a build that's a 60 at 20 or even mid 20s, and then a 60 at 50.
45.
Like that is so goddamn so loud. Like the like to your head, it's so loud.
The Sorgasm did a 59.7 average for 90 seconds at 30 hertz.
Oh yeah.
And that was one shot. That was one effort to do that. Like, and it was like the passenger window would roll down, and the way I would see that I knew the window rolled down is that it dropped under a 60, and so I rolled it back up. Because we'd never played. That was the only time that thing is played with one window up. And I definitely wouldn't play with both windows up because I would be buying fucking windows. So, yeah.
That's right, Chris. And when I say bandwidth, I don't mean it's your response is like this. I mean, I'm flat. And then, so what I've seen, I notice a lot of people will do to get their response is they'll meter it at, you know, they'll turn it up at like 20 or whatever, and then they got to change stuff to get the similar output at higher frequencies. Like they got to change how the system's laid out, like doors, whatever. Like that's not how that works, man. Like close that door, like, close it up, play music, and meter it. But no, whatever. Not my builds.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry. So when I build with the Nitros built, everybody's getting 55 hertz only demos. We're playing PD Pablo Vibrate only. That's all you're getting. Or you know what? I'm gonna have Chris Russ or Chris Coffee.
No,
all the Chris's modified lows.
If everybody knew it, for like you're getting 55, they'd be like, "Here I go," and they would get it. If you fucking do people the way Chris Lee does them, and they hop in, and all of a sudden, and you're all hit me with some lows. He's like, "Yeah," and you're climbing in, and you start getting. You're standing in his, and he's like, fucking, all of a sudden he's like, and you're all, oh, no, don't play that song.
And then Chris's van, they're over the hump, so they can't get out fast enough.
Yeah. No, I don't be climbing over humps.
Nope.
Hey, let me tell everybody, we got 52 people that I can see are watching right now, and I'm sure another 100 or something will watch over the next few days. Don't climb over the fucking hump of an extreme vehicle. Don't do that. Listen, the reason
you're gonna die.
Because I'm trying to preserve our fucking community. Somebody's gonna fucking die, and it's gonna fucking ruin it.
Shit's loud over there, bud.
That shit,
like people don't get how loud that is.
So there's this. What the fuck is the Ben was Ben?
Look,
you know,
everyone
Ben Ruthless Audio Ben Barnett.
I made that mistake
earlier.
Then Jerry said I made that mistake. Yeah, because all it takes is a slip of the knob, and that's an 80 to your chest, and you're done, bud.
Yeah,
done.
Yeah. Look, man, last year was a little over a year ago, right? When fucking dude, I got on the phone with Chris Lee. I got on the phone with fucking goddamn Jason DeClue, because the whole community was like, yeah, and he's gonna do it. And I was like, dude, he's gonna die. He's gonna fucking die. That thing does an 81. If you climb over there and you get an 81 for 5 minutes. He said he was going to take 5 minutes of whatever the beat dominator could do. And I was like, no, you're fucking not. No, you are not. Listen, motherfucker, this is how I make a living, and you can ruin it by dying. I'm not okay with that shit. No fucking way. No. And and Jason is dumb enough to get there, and fucking Chris is dumb enough to spin that fucking knob. And it's like, bro, like, okay, what? No, a waiver won't do shit. A waiver won't do shit. No, we're both doing the same. A waiver will do nothing. It'll be like, idiot dies in sound vehicle, and even if fucking if Chris can't get sued and
but that's
and fucking Slamology can't get sued and fucking goddamn Sundown can't sue, like nobody's fucking doing that shit ever again. Like they want to be like, oh, no.
I learned this from the showdown. The waiver, even if you have the person sign it, it is meaningless if you have a good attorney, or even if probably a shitty attorney. But it comes down to the insurance. So, like, if your insurance at the show doesn't have these 3 auto policies covered, like everybody's fucking liable. So there's when you go to a show, if you hurt somebody, you could still be in trouble even if you fucking have people.
So whenever like the Chris Lee stuff was going
on, touch your baffle and your fucking shitty wood screw sticking out can cut their hand and they can fucking sue you.
So whenever the Chris Lee and Jason stuff was going on, and we were talking about it before. So we have a family friend who is an attorney. She's a lawyer. She's a judge now. So I asked her, I was like, what would there be any protection with this? She's like, no, there's no protection because he doesn't matter. Like, it's not like an automated thing where an accident could happen. The person operating the vehicle willingly turned the knob that caused the death. There is no waiver. There's none of that. That person goes to jail.
Somewhere in my Instagram and Facebook, there's a picture of this young man that climbed over the hump with the fucking door open.
Oh, was that the dude who like?
And that fucking kid and Chris, dude, it was like he played the song that Chris fucking plays. And when it was just about to hit the big gnar bass note, dude, I'm sitting there filming the kid, and I fucking film Chris, and I film the head unit. I'm trying to see the name of the song because people be like, song? And fucking
every time.
Dude, I'm all, bro, it says it on the screen. And it's fucking, and Chris, and the bass knob is like 1/8 of the way up, and he goes, everything. This fucking kid dives out over the fucking hump, slides belly down the steps of the fucking van, face plants in the goddamn crabgrass, scorpions his fucking feet over near his head, flails around, flops over, gets up, and he's like, I'm okay. And I'm like, are you? And I asked him anyway, are you okay? And he's like, and I like filmed Chris. I'm like, bro, you're fucking mean or brutal with that bass knob, bro. You can't do that shit, man. And it was like,
I do want a good demo in Chris's car, but like I want a demo to the
doorway. Uncomfortable. Stand at the door. That's what I will do.
Because I'll take a demo, but I want it like just a little, just barely before.
He's not going to do that. That's not what Chris is going to do.
I know he won't do it, but that's
that's not what Chris is going to do, man. Chris is going to hit you a little bit, and he's going to give you everything right when it plays that fucking choke your fucking face off note, and it's going to hurt.
Everybody say hello to my dad.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, what's up, Dad?
The reason I know about live music, him.
Very cool.
Best percussionist I've ever known.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
My dude,
I was the last time I stood inside of Chris's vehicle. I was like, give me the lows, give me like all the badass lows first. And you know what I'm fucking wearing? I was wearing the fucking yellow shirt. It was the yellow shirt year, Steve. And yeah. I'm standing there, man, and there's a crowd around the whole fucking truck. We jammed the whole lineup. There was like fucking four or five of us, and I was the first one to get in. And I'm all, don't give me that high note shit. And he was like, you got to get it all. Ha! And I mean, he gave me fucking everything. And I was like, argh! And I fucking was like, and I took a step towards him, and I swear to you, dude, I was going to kick him in the face. I was like, don't fucking do that shit again. I kind of laughed it off a little bit like I'm losing my cool. And I was like, chill the fuck out. Like, it wouldn't be that cool if I kicked Chris in the
Oh,
mouth right now.
Of
And I
losing
was
my
like,
cool,
don't fucking do
I got a
that shit
story.
again. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, I'm not going to be in here ever again. I'm going to stand by the door now because you won't
chill.
do what I ask of you in regards to this
Before we
fucking
get
number.
off this topic, and
Yeah.
Drew, tell us your story about being mad. But Scott at Phi, when he was building the van, I don't know if he's ever going to finish it, but his plan was to have a giant, like 2-foot bass knob on the outside of the van, and you basically anybody could come up and just turn it up and down as much as they want, and it can play all day. It'll never get hurt. And,
Listen,
it'll
hey,
do
you know what?
everything.
That's different because if you knew that was the fucking case, then
Yeah.
you're like, here I go, and you fucking, you know what I mean? But no, like I'm like it's something else when you're like, hey man, don't try to kill me with your fucking choke the shit out of me with your goddamn dog. And he's like, and you're like, yeah. But yeah.
So this weekend last weekend I was out at JL for the max trainings. And did you go to the dinner on Sunday when you went?
Yes.
So
Yes, I did.
we were at the Rustling Roosters, whatever it is.
The barbecue place with the slide.
Yep. So we were there.
Me and one other guy did the fucking slide, and I was like, we were old dudes, and I was like, you guys are a bunch of fucking pussies. You have to do the fucking. Did you do the slide, or are you a big fat pussy?
No, we went out the other way. But there was a bull this time though, like a big ass bull there. Like it was huge.
Did you have sex with the bull?
I mean, it is what it is, bud.
Bro.
It is what it is. And so we were at dinner, we were eating, and I hear to my left this dealer and this other dude talking about Scar and whatever. And then he's like, that Scar, he's like, and that Sundown shit. That's the same bullshit garbage to me. Pardon me? Boy, I about broke my fucking neck.
You're like,
I said,
what is your experience level, you fucking
I said back it up, but I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, it's all just trash. Like, oh, whoo, sir. No. And I started to explain, like, the development, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't care. It's all trash to me. Well, as someone who helps with that development,
right,
I was offended. And like I had to reel it in, like, because I was mad. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, when somebody surprises you with some real bullshit, it's a little different than when you like prepare yourself for it, right?
I was not prepared to hear this type of ignorance at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And then my first thought was like, well, I thought he was like, I thought he was a rep for JL. Like I thought he worked for JL. So I was like, bro, I'm like, that's a hell of a statement to be saying to someone who pushes your shit as aggressively as I do in builds that have all that sundown bullshit. Turns out he's just a dealer. He doesn't work for JL. He's just a dealer. So unfortunately, dealers be having dumb opinions. But I'm proud I held that shit together. Because at this point, I had a couple drinks in me. I had to physically look the other direction.
I bet if you were sober, you would have fucking been inappropriately in his ass. Because when you know that you've had a few, you're like, wait a minute, am I out of line? So like, okay, this is all right. We've been at this for fucking a year and a half now, and like everybody watches, people that watch every fucking week. I had to like analyze my shit a long time ago about fighting because I enjoy fighting. Like I'm having a good time in a fight, and a few times when I was intoxicated, things didn't go well. In that one time, I kind of beat up my friend a little more than I really should have, and it's embarrassing. I'm cringing like a motherfucker right now. My buddy.
So now every time you're drinking and you get mad, you're like, wait.
The other time, I kind of got beat up by somebody that I would beat the shit out of 99 of 100 times as a little too drunk.
So now you're like,
And that was like a little embarrassing too. But right now, I'm not that embarrassed because like, if you enjoy fighting, you should definitely get your ass kicked every once in a while. And that's okay.
Just to remind you that, hey,
that somebody might catch you because you won't win 100% of the time, even if it's somebody that you should beat up 99% of the time. Yeah. And you only fight them once.
So I held it in. I didn't, and I just, I did let it be known to the the VP, a VP and a director of stuff at JL, like uppers, the next morning. We went and had breakfast, and I was very unhappy with the way his dealers were speaking. I let it be known. I was like, hey, look, this was said. I didn't say anything. It was disrespectful as fuck, especially with how hard I pushed this brand. And I help y'all. I'm not working with JL, I'm not developing shit with him, but I'm working with Nick and we're making some cool shit together.
Drew,
yeah.
Do you think I would have sold a couple $100,000 worth of JL products in the last fucking year if I wasn't involved with you? Okay.
I wouldn't have one in my car either.
I know I've had an impact on at least the base head side, at least that.
You are the fucking root, the tap root, the fucking main motherfucker of people in this big base head community. And me and Steve are just another little secondary roots of everybody using this shit. So
you know what you got to do, Drew?
What?
Convince them, because I've always loved JL, and one of the loudest systems I ever had when I was younger was JL W3s. Like, have them. I don't know if they still make W3s, but if they do, revamp them to be a crazy SPL or bass head sub. Make a fucking badass. Could we come out with the W3? Because when that thing first came out, I was looking at it in magazines all the time. It was the loudest sub. It was a fucking badass.
Random fact I found out: the ZV5 ferrite rings and the home version of the W7 use the same ferrite rings.
With the same slugs?
Yep. So that tells you how big the W7, the home W7 is.
Wow, it's a big ass sub.
Yeah, it's big. It's like 20% bigger than a car W7.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they can't do it. I know they can.
Dude, it's huge.
The coil's bigger than 2.
It's huge. Yeah, the whole thing's bigger.
So it's literally a completely different woofer for the most part.
Kind of, but they look identical. It just looks like someone would click the scale button and went 1.2
on the fucking motor.
It's an extra 20% bigger.
Yeah.
But you know what's wild is that there's no way that Cone would handle really.
No, but I know JL could build
massive amount of views.
They could come out with another base head line or something. I mean, our market, I think, is back to being big enough now to where, I mean, it's obvious Kicker's back in it. These bigger companies, I think, can find a home. Just don't do it the way Fosgate did it. That was
Fosgate. So Chris said, "Do you think your wagon, and it's not mine, it's my brother's, but our wagon, whatever, his wagon, our build, will be louder than Master Will?"
With the Kickers?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it is now.
Once you get the car to stop absorbing 80% of the
right. Like you can see on the term lab screen that there's 140 dB resonance.
Yeah.
So the next time the wagon comes out, it's gonna have war horses in it, and it's gonna have a fixed roof. So yeah.
I mean, I don't know what Will does now. Does he bust to 60?
I think it does. Yeah, it does like a 60 point something.
Now here's the thing, right? And I talked about this in that fucking video a week or so ago that people still want to bring up every day because they want to be relevant. It's as relevant as
wagon is as no wall as it gets, my guy.
Yeah. We're talking about the wagon. It's a car with fucking 612s in it. That's louder than a vehicle with fucking 615s and double the power.
Present, share screen.
It's not legal. So that's what you're getting.
30,000 watts.
Guarantee that's what you'll hear.
Mother.
Dude, the loudest no wall, I don't give a shit what anybody says right now, at least on the West Coast, is Craig Ball.
Absolutely. 110%.
Oh, bro. That motherfucker is nasty. Dude,
that bitch hurt me.
We were hanging out on Friday night. We cruised over to where the whole mall area is closed, and we were over there. That shit was fucking wild. It was a good time. That was a fun demo.
Yeah. 815s on 2 or 4 pit bulls. I don't know, but it does a 64, I think, but it feels like a 67, 68.
Yep.
It's
fucking
blowing
good.
that fucking rig to fucking pieces in
This
the best
is
way possible. Like
Yeah.
my buddy Josh, he's a bass head, but he doesn't have a lot of experience with bass heads. And he was like, that's the fucking loudest thing I've ever been in, other than like Clippo and fucking Steve Duncan's truck, because my buddy Josh came with me to Slam not last year, the year before, and he's like, dude, he got out and he's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I didn't think that's not even a wall, dude. And like the whole truck, he's like, dude, the fucking floor was hitting my feet so hard, I felt like I needed to hold them up. I was like,
Yeah.
it was, yeah,
That's
that
where the
fucking
groceries
thing is
go.
fucking, it's a lot, dude. It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's where the groceries go. Kyle asked.
It's
So
right on top. You just warm that ice cream up right there.
this is the flex of the roof, metering almost 140 dB.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, dude. When you gave me the demo at Slam, I was like, oh yeah, it's getting it. And then all of a sudden there was no bass, but the whole car was going like this. And I was like,
dude.
oh, dude. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
That there you go. There's Steve right there. So I was just about to say, is
You
I
don't hear that?
came over and Allie and I got demos in the car, and we had a great fucking time. We got out and there was Steve, and we went over and we were talking to fucking Steve, and it was this like experience barrage of like, you know, it was like we got the demos, and Allie got a demo, and we were talking, and we had to go over and we were talking to Steve. We had this conversation with Steve, and there was like this line of like 4 people that had waited for me to get done talking to Steve to talk to me, and they're taking pictures. We're talking, and like we gotta fucking go. We had like people are sending us a message in the group that the deadliest demo judges, they're like, come here now, and we're like, fuck, we gotta go, and like take a picture, we're gonna go. I gotta fucking, it was and we like walked away, and we're going, and I'm like, God, I feel like I just rushed through a fucking experience of a lifetime, like, you know, like sitting there, you know, chatting with Steve and giving a hug and getting a fucking demo in the fucking wagon that Drew and his buddy worked his fucking ass off, and his brother worked his fucking ass off, and here's this thing playing at full potential of what it is now, and it's pretty fucking awesome, but like everything got cut a little fucking shorter than it probably should have been, you know what I mean? And me and Allie are like fucking power walking across fucking Slamology, discussing how like we wish we weren't in such a goddamn hurry, but you know, so
someone said it took Master Will $30K to do a 60. Number one, goddamn. Number two, what? So this is how I know the literally 30 seconds of metering that I did to get that 56 on the 7K. Obviously not the loudest it was, because this music run is a 56.5. That's just music.
That fat ass crack of the fucking windshield ain't helping any.
But here.
Now, mind you, Will works hard, and I super admire that. But like, I'm showing 58 people watching right now. How many of you believe that if he just directly swapped out all of his subs for Sundown, FI, or DC, he wouldn't?
He'd gain immediately.
Immediately gain.
And someone said it's made to destroy the rear hatch. Nope, that's just the only place they fit.
That you haven't been able to fucking reinforce yet. Give the motherfucker a break, man.
Did it build in 9 days. Ligma. Yeah. It did it in 9 days, and it is a 2024 Kicker catalog car. It's all over that bitch. What's up? Anyway, so yeah, Master Will blocked me like 3 years ago. Whenever he was saying something about him building boxes, and I was like, "Well, didn't Ben from Big Ass Ports build your boxes?" When he had the last one, blocked immediately. Because Ben from Big Ass Ports, he first got allowed.
He loves his scar, though. That's for sure.
Well,
it's so strange, right? It's one thing if there wasn't so much real reality of how much of a fucking scumbag Kevin is. If it was just some company, you know what I mean?
That was one reason why I got so angry at dinner.
When people are that hyped, when people are that hyped about resilient sounds, I'm like, I understand. They're not shitty people.
Yeah, at least they're in the community.
They're fucking cool.
What did Kevin do besides rip off Jacob's subs? Like, I mean, JLD in essence is just as much to blame for selling Jacob's subs to somebody else or whoever's making them. But I don't know the whole backstory. Do you, Drew? What's the deal?
Jacob had designed them a sub, and they were like friendly, or I don't know if they were friends or anything, but like Kevin was inside enough to get very accurate schematics of the Sundown chassis and change it just enough to avoid patent law. That's how close it is. Like lawyers had to look at it. It is within like the 1% change
stuff. I mean,
yeah, on the ZVX.
Fuck, it's that. I thought it was the same. It's got a little bit of differences to it.
It's different enough to avoid patent law.
Huh.
Because Sundown's going to go after him because it looks like a copy.
Okay.
Now there's a few other companies that do this, and I'm not a fucking fan of it at all. But if you search Sundown, you get Scar first.
Yeah, that's just he's just spending money on advertising. That's A-okay. I get that. It's the direct stealing of IP.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that they. Okay, so because I have a digital marketing background, I had I owned a marketing company for a while. We did SEO, and it just comes down to keywords. That's part of your keyword strategy is using your competition, because when people are searching for stuff that your competition uses, you want to come up, obviously. And if a lot of people are searching for Sundown and you're selling a product that's just like a Sundown, like, you want your shit to come up.
Yeah.
No, so it goes along with it looks exactly like it. And it's sad because they're playing on.
Every audio company does that, though.
If you're doing the fucking 85.
Well, I think what he's saying is that they made it look like Sundown, and then they're spending the money to put it in front of Sundown on search.
That's.
But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that looks like Sundown.
Like what?
I don't know anything that looks like basket-wise, like the bigger Sundown.
Basically, everything else you can buy from JLD. I think you could even get the Sundown basket.
Not the big one. Like when I say big one, I mean like the Z Series, X Series, Sundown chassis.
Yeah, the big deeper one.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't get it, you could get one almost just like it. You could probably get
which I can almost guarantee Scar funded the original casting.
No, they own theirs too, and they're not letting anybody else have it. That's why nobody else is fucking doing it. I don't want that fucking basket. I'm not a huge believer in it, but
I think it comes down to how much money you're willing to pay the factory to not let them use it.
That's basically it. Yeah, if you have enough money, they'll sell you anything within. Then you usually have to deal with the consequences in the U.S.
Yeah, or they'll not sell something if you give them enough money as well.
That is also a thing.
Like fucking talks, basically.
They must spend tens of thousands of dollars on R&D. I think you've been to say they must have spent tens of dollars on R&D.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, no, zero R&D. Right. That if somebody actually put forth a fucking effort, right? Like it's no secret. Kicker owns every super fucking badass subwoofer ever manufactured, and they've tested the fucking shit out of them. And every little bit of information they can learn from that to put into their product to make it more affordable and just as high performance or even better.
Oh yeah,
they're putting all of that shit into that. Every fucking bit of it. They're not a dummy. I talk to Jacob Fuller frequently, and I tell him I dissected every inch of your fucking woofer, and it's so badass because I'm learning. I learn more from Sundown woofers.
Did you cut it in half yet?
Dissect than any fucking company.
Did you cut the motor in half yet?
No, I didn't do that.
There was a kicker one time. There was this was out in the open, so I can talk about it because like other people saw it on the tour. There were multiple Sundown motors that were cut in half.
Yeah.
So they could look at the insides.
Fucking A.
So,
I don't know how the fuck I would cut a fucking goddamn 19.6.5, but I got one taken all apart over there that I measured the shit out of every little fucking bit of nook and cranny I could possible.
After you're done doing all that,
I'm
Bobby,
not going to duplicate
put it back together.
motor.
If you want it cut in half, I could get it cut in half.
Yeah, water jet.
With the water jet.
I don't think I need to get it cut in half. I don't. I can measure accurately right through the goddamn gap. But I'm not going to duplicate their fucking motor.
Yeah, which exactly.
I know that it's a fucking water jet. I just don't have one here
yet.
Fuck, Jesus Christ, fucking guys! I'm hella smart. You do it with it. I don't. Shut up. Fuck.
No,
just so you were talking about
2-year-old motherfuckers. I want to talk.
The kicker has the the ability to make whatever. Yeah. That's what I think a lot of people don't realize is if the only reason Kicker hasn't released the most powerful subwoofer motor ever created is because they don't want to. That's all that is. I mean, it may even already exist. It may be sitting on the second shelf up on the right.
I think I might have seen it.
We did see something that is super powerful.
I saw something that I suspected might be fucking.
It had a warning sign on it. I mean, what's
I grabbed some shit off a fucking shelf when I was walking by one time, and I was like, "Can I take this home?" And he was like, "Oh, that's the one you'd want to take too." And I was like, "Okay." And it was like, I like petted it. I'm on goodbye. I was like.
Yeah. We are doing sundown torch on deadener on the entire thing.
On the outside? Layers.
Yeah, on the outside. That's where deadener goes, isn't it? Like window tint goes on the outside.
Hey, no. I fucking had these guys come into my shop back when I tinted windows, and they fucking showed up, and my guys were in the middle of tinting windows, and the dude was like, "Can I buy the tint from you to tint my car?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'll tell you what, it's like, it's about $110 for the tint to tint your whole car. If you give me $150, I'll give you enough to do the back window twice." And he was like, "Okay." And then fucking like the Monday after, it was the Saturday morning, the Monday after in the evening, the dude showed up and was like, "Why does it look like this?" And he had applied that fucking tint on the outside of that back window. And I was like, "Oh, you saw me shrinking this shit on the back window because you shrink it on the outside." And I was like,
"Yeah." Then you,
"Oh, dude, you got it. It goes on like this." And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Damn.
And then the same car showed up, and it was like his wife or girlfriend brought it in like 4 days later. It was like a Thursday or Friday afternoon, and they dropped it off, and we tinted it and gave it back to him the next day. But yep, tint on the outside of the fucking window.
I've seen deadener on the outside, and it wasn't a joke. So
damn.
But it was from a kid.
I've seen deadener on the inside of the glass, and you could fucking see that it was fucking deadener.
Yeah. You'll have that. Oh, well, fellas.
All right, I gotta pee.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Lord. Oh, do I have anything cool up here? Not really. I got a little berry back thing. That thing's nifty. No, nothing cool. But yeah, I can measure some really cool shit now. And why no wood roof? Because wood roof looks horrible. And if I'm doing all that effort, it's gonna get steel. So that way, like a proper headliner can go back up.
What are you gonna do? You're just gonna do some deadener?
I'm gonna do a bunch of sundown deadener. Yeah, I gotta decide. We gotta do something about the sunroof. So I think we're gonna do like a frame around the factory, like remove the glass, do a frame around the roof, and then bolt a piece of plexi in place with the sunroof so it still has a sunroof. We did that before in the Isuzu a long time ago. What else? We've considered doing some steel strips front to back, just like 1.5 by 1/4, just along the roof. Not sure on that yet, but
I'd be better off doing like 1-inch square tube if it'll still fit under the headliner.
Well, it's gonna get a custom. Gonna get a custom headliner made. But I don't know yet.
But even still, like when you put steel up there, you're tacking to fucking 16 gauge.
Yeah, I know.
Nothingness. So you're probably better with just using that good deadener.
I know. Yeah. We haven't decided yet. We'll get it figured out. Do that, and then once it does the 60 with the with the hatch normal, we're gonna do an extreme hatch at some point. But so the only reason it fell off at the last show was because it just sheared the factory shitty bolts. So now there's grade 8 like bolts in that thing. Like it's good for now.
I wonder how well bedliner would do as a like reinforcement.
I think
Works real good. You
Yeah,
ever seen him fucking bedliner a cinder block and throw it off a fucking building?
Like, what if you were to just go super heavy on bedliner on the inside of the roof versus deadener? I wonder if that would work. Like, make it almost like fiber, like it's almost turning it into a fourth order.
Yeah,
like
sure
Prop the door up with a
function.
piece of wood.
I won't be
That's not
finding
really that
out.
expensive either.
But someone can find out.
Yeah.
So Ben Barnett contacted me and we talked a little bit. This is probably when I first met Ben. Shit, 7 or 8 years ago, and he was building his Dodge, and he was gonna, build a walled off fucking loud crew cab, and it eventually did fucking like 60, 61, 62s, maybe even touched some 63s for a moment, 415s in a fourth order. It was nasty. It took him a while to get there because it's a lot of work, but he stripped that whole thing down. And he had them spray like 3/8 of an inch thick bed liner on the roof and the floor and the back wall and like up the fucking firewall and everything of his Dodge truck. And he's like, dude, he's like, I went in, they told him, it was going to be $1,500. And he was like, cool. And they thought they were fuck. He's like, dude, I could tell they were stoked. They thought they were making big money. And they were like, I will fucking never do anything that resembles this again for less than $5,000. Like, no fucking way. Fuck that, dude. They were like, it was a fucking nightmare. And we should have never done this shit. And but they got it done.
What was the nightmare part about it? Just
I don't know. I wasn't fucking there. They told him they were not happy that they had done it though. Imagine trying to mask. Imagine trying to spray a fucking A pillar, like and shit's flying all over. Or they were trying to mask it off. You know what I mean? Like yeah. So
come on, pull back up.
I mean, my whole cab is bedlined, over the steel. I'm sure it helped a little bit.
Boy, look at your boy running the mic. Oh, look at Matt.
The B pillars all bedlined. Yeah.
That Matt or is that you?
That's Matt.
That's Matt. That's
me. Yeah, this is just from last weekend, dude. They got this training. They got it dialed in. It's getting good.
Nice.
Well, look at Jacob. Yeah, dude, chilling. Oh my god.
All right, boys. Well, anything else?
Just so it's easy to find, so people can find it later when they come looking for it at the end of the show. Fuck Nick Apicella. There you go. Just so y'all can find it real easy later to send to him.
Do you mean like fuck him or like actually fuck him?
I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's 2024. I'm not here to judge.
Hey,
my side's still on. That's what matters.
I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, I'm going to bring back this shit. Remember when you were a fucking 7-year-old? You'd be like, or like you do this one, you do the triple, or you had to do it like this. You're like,
we should somehow convince Donnie and Denise to set up like a boxing ring with those big
dude, that'd be just
and just let all the car audio drama people that
like
hate each
big
other
ass gloves, like the big like comically large ones, so you don't actually hurt each other, but like
the big ones,
wail the shit out of each other.
Or
nobody wants to fight fucking Drew because he's fucking 6'4", 250.
I mean, I'll swing hard enough with that big mid. It's still
John Rabby because he's 6'6",
me and John are
230 now, and he's
someone tell John Rabby
he could have been a professional athlete.
He drinks beer slow.
So who the fuck does everybody want to fucking fight?
Well, with the big ass gloves, that's a little more fun. Or the sumo.
I want to fight that little guy that's 5'4" that talks hella shit.
I know two people that would fight each other.
I want to fight EXO, bro. What's up?
Who would fight each other?
What's up, EXO?
Travis Young and Chris from Limitless. They would fight each other.
Dude,
That
Chris
would be
would eat Travis
fun.
Young.
It would
Bro.
still be very funny.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why I said like I'll fight EXO because he's such a nice guy and he's skinny dude. Imagine
So what do you
he's such a nice dude, bro. That's such a great guy.
Yeah. No.
His behemoth's gonna be the loudest yet whenever he gets done. Loudest yet. I mean, it's gonna be the loudest
Say
he's
fucking
ever had.
less, son. What?
Dude.
Just big gloves on, butt naked. Sheesh.
Yo, the fact that we don't know which demo bro this is, that makes it even better.
Yeah, whatever. I'll take the whole fucking crew, butt naked. Let's go. Send it.
Fuck
I
around
run
and find
trains.
out. Come to surf.
That's right. We fighting and kiss and make up, bro.
Hey, so I booked while we were sitting here. I
Hard
booked
to
our
fight
house,
out with kissing and making up, son.
Bobby, you know that house we had at Slam right by the Speedway, right by you guys? Has like the cool bar
Yeah,
downstairs.
when you have the little dungeon downstairs.
Yeah, so I just booked that shit. So
Okay.
maybe we'll go buy like a kiddie pool and fill it full of Jello or something, and we can,
let's go.
Crazy.
Okay.
So,
no, don't do it. Don't stop. Don't.
oh
You
no!
can bring a big ass girl. You could wrestle her.
Oh no!
Oh no, I don't want no girls.
No, yeah, like a 400-pounder. It'd be fucking hilarious.
You heard me, Dungy. Tell him you heard me. So I just.
What did you mean?
So whenever Damien said we can fight and kiss and make up, I'm like, damn, that's some SQ guy shit.
Jerry might be able to fucking pal around with us, stay in the house with us too if we're all there. I think we may already have a house, me and Byron.
Did you know where you booked? Because if you guys booked in that same area, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I liked it. There were 2 years in a row. We were like fucking 60 yards from each other. It was good.
So Damien said that made me think that's some SQ guy shit. Well, this weekend, Colin let me borrow his Tesla for the weekend.
The number of watchers is just plummeting. So
that shit climbing, bud. No, yeah, because they had to go tell their people to come look.
So if anybody wants to looking for a couch to crash on inexpensively, PM me.
Jerry's a grown ass man, and he's not
going to want a couch.
He probably ain't trying to be on a couch. Yeah.
No, but there's some people.
Which happened to me last weekend because the Airbnb host was a lying piece of shit. Anyway, so Colin let me borrow his Tesla, and I tuned it, whatever. We were sitting there when I first got there Thursday. We're just listening to it. We're in like a parking lot of like In and Out. I'm thinking, damn. What happened? Obviously, like we used to be in the parking lot floating babies in the window. Now we're sitting in a Tesla, giving SQ demos to each other. So, man, what happened? So I immediately started plotting rebuilding Tahoe to 915. So I can't have that shit. I'm trying to float an absolute baby in the window. I just thought it was a funny transition to go from we used to float babies to SQ demos.
Next week, I'm gonna have to be on the show from my phone because I'll be away from the shop for a few days.
Oh, where you going?
I want to tote a phone with me. I mean, a computer with me. So
That's
just letting you know.
Where are you headed?
Not here. Y'all find out next week.
Oh,
how about that?
Well, in 3 weeks,
I should have some wild. I should by then have some really cool pictures and videos of some shit that is gonna break the fuck out of the car audio fucking interwebs a little bit.
Ooh,
I designed some really, really gangster fucking shit that is going to create an incredible level of efficiency in cage building. And I'm about to build a cage for much less than about anybody else is going to build one for in a timely manner that dwarfs anybody else's shit.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah. I mean, you've always been real more than curious, but yeah. So, yep. Imagine your fucking cage snaps together like fucking Legos and you just weld it up real quick and it's done in a day.
I like it. So does Fi sell like only custom order subs now, or do they still do like off the shelf stuff? I think they just do like to order things now.
Unless they've changed it, which they may have, but they were on a system where they released a series of subs they were going to build for the entire like 2-week period. And if this is the sub you want, this is the time to order it. and then you'd make sure basically you got that sub within a timely matter. You're not waiting 2 or 3 months for your sub. You basically order it within this 2-week period, and you're going to have it in 2 weeks versus the other way. But they may have changed that by now. I don't know.
So I designed the 10-inch basket, and it's a fucking absolute unit of a basket. But I think we're going to do tooling for a 15 and then an 18 first. So I might do a 10-inch basket, a 10-inch sub using a different basket, but I haven't found a basket that I can get, from a manufacturer that I really love the way I do my own. Like they literally don't have the dimensions that I have, and that's kind of important to the woofer that I, for the most part, designed. Like if I'm going to do a 10, it's going to be a fucking beast because like, God, man, 10 is such a weird woofer. Like once you're past an 8, you might as well have a fucking 12. So often, right? I mean, it's just, I keep on finding things where it's like, well, might as well just be a fucking badass 8 rather than a 10. But
no arm wrestling. Yeah, I'd have seen the results of that.
No fucking arm shit. I've fucking broken both my legs twice, and I've broken both my wrists and one of my arms real bad, and now I've torn ligaments in both arms. I'm for sure not arm wrestling anybody, but I'll choke somebody the fuck unconscious if they want me to. I'm good with that.
Well, fellas.
Yeah.
Well, before we sign off real quick, I wanted to start talking about it now because it's going to come up before we know it. The deadliest demo, or the most deadly demo at Slam. So Bobby's going to make the award this year, just like last year. So it's going to be fucking super sick. And Bobby will be a little bit more involved. I mean, he's already super involved with being a judge and stuff. But when it comes to the award presenting, I want Bobby to be there because he's making the award and being one of the judges. You have way more experience of the whole weekend than Hammy and I do. We basically only get to see the finalists,
Yeah, and of everybody,
yeah,
pretty much the only one that's done it every fucking year, I think, right?
Yeah.
And this year, you're getting judged on tonality, bro. If your shit don't sound right, I'm docking points.
That's in there. So yeah, for people that want to compete in it this year, like next episode, I'll post up the judging sheet so you can start at least getting your shit ready for that. If it's something you really want to try to win. But yeah, let me show you something really quick. Remember, well, of course you remember, but Penny with the had the 2018s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there was a little controversy, because I know he really wanted to win it. And like, if it's most deadly demo, I tap so many people out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, he has been working really hard on this build.
I love that. He's like, damn, man, I thought I did everything I needed to do to be in contention, and I fucking wasn't, and that sucks. And so what the fuck do I need to do? What was missing? And you go, here it is. And then, oh, shit.
Oh, just wait. He ain't done yet, bud.
He decided to kind of drop trying to promote some of these slightly smaller brands, and he's going with some big dogs now. I think it's going to be all Sundown. So this is the inside now.
20 fucking Sundown 18s in there?
Nope. He went with, what is it? 4, 8. I think it's 12 18s now.
Okay.
12 18s, and then I believe he's doing 12 Salt 8Ks. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be all Sundown. And this stunt wall out of the back. So he's, he's
completely fucking different.
Yeah, very different.
Like, here's the thing: is when we go back a couple years, my experience they were hauling people. They were like, "Come here, come on, you got to hear this." And we went trucking over there, and I hopped in that thing.
You mean that?
There you go. I didn't know you designed it.
It literally, I think it had no fucking mids at all. It was like just subs, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And it only played like a specific, like he was just doing burp tones for me at least.
This year.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm tapping. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, but like,
yeah, he ain't fucking around.
And I was like, hey, will it do like some lows or something? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, right on. Thank you. And we were off. And it was like,
so it's a 4-quarter, Drew?
Yep.
12-18s?
Fourth order with with individual chambers left to right for reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not fucking around. So
we've only been talking about phase alignment for a fucking year and a half, Drew. Nobody's fucking goddamn. None of these people watching are in a mystery of it, son.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
there's your competition, guys. If you're going for that,
that's gonna be pretty fucking sick.
And I mean, if I have anything to say with that, I'm gonna at least help get it phase aligned a little bit, just because I would love to see something that I designed do what that thing can probably do.
Yeah, he's got the right equipment now,
it's designed
the right design
right for it. He's gonna wire it right. It's gonna be
nasty. I'm excited.
But anyway, tonality judge. If y'all shit sounds like booty, I don't even know. It's not. I'm not even an official judge, but I'm coming in there and docking points.
Yeah,
I'm grabbing the judge's sheet and putting a -5 on it.
Are you doing a booth this year, Drew, or not sure yet?
No, yeah, I'm doing a booth. But I think we're just gonna have the wagon on there. So I mean, I would love to get out and actually get some demos. That'd be fucking great.
So why don't you?
Well, there's no SQ, so I don't have to deal with that at all. Like, so that's not.
That's what I was asking. Like, if you had time, you could possibly be a judge.
Be one of the judges, man. I think everybody.
We're gonna have more time this year, Hammy and I, because we're bringing extra employees this year.
I think it'd be cool if, obviously, probably not possible, to put all the deadliest demo vehicles by each other. You know what I mean? That
that's what we do on Sunday. Is we say, hey, everybody, bring your ass over here. The like top 5.
Yeah, but it would be cool, maybe like for like the 10th year of doing the award, maybe have, if the builds are even still around, to get all 10 builds to kind of be in the same place. But
and you know what? Who knows? Like, we might be getting fucking demos this year of a fucking of 10 of them that we're like, nah, we like. Call them over. Here's the thing: is like some vehicles that could be in contention weren't, because like they weren't playing. Like, they're part of it is the fucking fact that they're dishing out the fucking demos. Penny's build, they had that thing operating all weekend. They got, like, we were like, man, they were doing it all weekend, but like it didn't have bandwidth. It wasn't playing music. It wasn't fun. It just killed you and you jumped out. And you're like, you know what I mean?
He took that to heart, bro. He putting in work.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. So, and now here we are. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm really, really excited and looking forward to that thing. And hopefully it fucking plays a bunch of badass music and it's fun and it's got a fucking line going and he's chooching people through that thing. And it's just fucking eating all weekend is what we really hope to see. And
so,
those ZB6s can eat all weekend too. Fucking
so you said that on Sunday, the top 5 all get together.
It could be the top 10 is what I'm saying.
Are they still
a bunch of these guys?
Obviously they're still playing, right? And that's when the final judging happens.
Kind of. So basically, like last year, I think it was top 4 or 5. They came in, and then Hammy and I, that's when we can actually get a demo, because we were fucking selling the whole weekend. So we get our demos, and then we kind of have the powwow with the judges. It really comes more down to the judges' opinion versus Hammy's in eyes. And then we just choose a winner. Basically, it's good.
This year, it was you guys that made the final calls. You and
right, but obviously with all your guys' input too. I mean, we don't.
Yeah, you like don't overrule everybody.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of our final say, I guess. But it's always a group-ish decision. I mean, we are definitely taking the input from you guys, and it weighs heavily. You know.
Oh, then whenever the top 5 or 10 whatever it is get together on Sunday. Then I can come over and we can take a listen to it while playing. You know, that way I don't have to go hear all of them. Whatever, most of them won't even be worth.
Yeah, but it's really important that the primary group of judges make our rounds around their fucking Saturday and a little bit of Sunday morning, Drew. Because that's how we find it. Like the fucking, we were all super duper pumped.
Oh yeah, it's not people that just like
the Russian wind truck and the fucking the Baracus or whatever the fuck it was. And we went over there and they weren't playing. And then these guys were like, they're going to play again at 1 o'clock. I just messaged them at 1 o'clock. And we hiked our fucking asses back there at 1 o'clock. And we sat there till 1:20 and we were like, you ain't in it.
Yeah.
You know, like you're literally not playing at all. Right. So no, bribes won't give, like, no.
You don't got enough money. Sorry. I checked.
I need an offense.
No, because I would definitely like to help. You know, I could definitely pick apart the tonality part of it, because it's, to me, It's got to sound good. I mean, cool, really cool. Your demo's super loud, and you have one mid that plays loud. Sounds like shit. That ain't no demo, bro. Get it out of here. Go home.
Yep.
Let me hear some shit.
Yeah, there's definitely criteria. It's the deadliest demo title kind of.
Luke's build last year, you would have liked Luke's build.
I think with how far DSPs
that one
has
last
come,
year, Drew,
you
it
have
sounded
no excuse.
good, and everything was fucking loud. And literally every fucking thing.
Oh yeah, no,
was
Luke's
fucking loud. And he was a warrior, dude. It was a fucking rainstorm. He's giving demos, fucking glass flying out of the fucking window. He's taping the shit out of it. That was when I met him, and when we got our demo, I was like, shit. Go get some fucking Gorilla Tape from the fucking truck. And one of the guys ran back, grabbed a couple rolls of Gorilla Tape. We taped up the whole door because he blew the fucking driver fucking window out of the fucking thing. And we got demos. All of us did. We all got fantastic fucking demos. And he was giving fantastic demos to every fucking person that got in line. We happened to, catch him when he didn't have a line going. It was fucking badass. And the only thing he broke was the fucking window. There was a couple other builds like Gutter Ball, John Nauman and his wife had gotten a demo in the Gutter Ball in the morning on Saturday, and they were like, fucking dude, like it is fucking insane. But by the time it was Sunday and the rest of us were getting demos, he was down 4 woofers, and it was still super fucking badass, but it wasn't quite on the level of the fucking Soulgasm and Luke's. Now, by the time it got to the head-to-head of Luke and the Soulgasm, I'm like, I'm really out. Like, I can't be a fucking judge of this. I'm biased to the Soulgasm, but goddamn, Luke's fucking build. So it's like,
I will judge the shit out of y'all living high.
If my opinion is anything, it's for sure Luke's, because I can't pick my own shit, So, yeah.
It is the year 2024. If your shit is the deadliest demo contender, it needs to sound like it. It needs to sound good. DSPs would be the cheapest part of most of these builds at this point.
Last year, those vehicles all sounded fucking good, and they fucking hurt. It was good.
Hell yeah. I'm not getting over no humps, though. Gotta have a seat.
Yeah, this year we didn't get into the – actually, you know what? The year before – was when we gave it to Steve Duncan, and it reached the end, and it was head to head with whether we were giving it to Steve for the fucking
I remember
the white truck
or
the van, and I didn't get shit out of the van. The van was broken as fuck by the time I got a demo, but I tell you, my experience of getting a demo and watching my friends get demos, and your brother was operating it, Drew.
Yep.
The fucking truck was incredible. We had such a good fucking time. That 20 minutes we spent at the truck with your brother, we were walking away, and my friend Rudy that passed away fucking like 5 weeks later, he was like, oh man, that was the fucking sickest shit ever. He was like a real basshead older dude, and man, he had the best fucking time, man. And
that's
good. And that meant
that's what it's about.
Yeah. And so that's why when it came down to it, people were like, what did you say? I was like, the fucking Duncan's white truck. And there's a couple other people said that. And then it was like Duncan's other truck. And then I don't know what the fuck else was on the line. I don't even remember. There was other shit that was
it wasn't
sick as fuck, but that was it. It was like Steve or Steve. It was like fucking Steve wins. Like, here it is, bro. You got one and two.
And like I got to shout out my brother, because they drove that truck there that year.
Yeah.
I don't know why it drove it. And,
that was the hot year. That was the fucking 100-degree year.
So that but I got to give him extra love for. He's like me. We can figure out what a system wants to play and how to play it and run it at that limit without breaking it. But and that's what gets you those demos like that. Like when I give out demos like the Bobby or something, Tahoe's getting them extra clicks, and to show what their sparks coming out the subs. That's not the limit. You can keep going. I know where limit is. We're gonna keep on. We're gonna keep on trucking.
Well, man, I had 2 videos of that. It was my demo and my friend Rudy's demo, and there was there was fucking 4 or 5. The rest of our group also got demos, but man, those videos are a couple of the best demo experiences that I fucking really ever fucking had. It was badass. Your brother picked a bitchin' song. It was fucking cramming. It fucking hurt a little bit, but I didn't want to tap. I was smiling. I was having fun. Some random beautiful girl comes up, sticks her head in the window for fucking 20 seconds and blows a badass hair trick. She just walks off. I was like, who the fuck is that? It was like some cute fucking young woman. I was like, that was cool. And then,
Damien, don't you worry,
and then my buddy Rudy's in there, and man, he fucking smiling and giggling his fucking whole face off, and it was fucking rad. We had a really good time. And
people are not prepared for the Tahoe to come back out. It's going to be
so what all winners have we had? We had the first year was Nick Hutchinson, and that was fucking badass. Yeah. And then was the next year, was that? Yeah.
That was probably probably Steven. And then the third year
was the B2 Suburban and Roth was a warrior. Roth was mobile demos.
Let me see, how many years have we done it?
Dude, Roth Jeeps have always been just
that was year fucking smashing. That was my favorite that year.
I think this is the fifth one, possibly. Is this 5?
This will be the 5th coming up.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I got chills just thinking about Ross Jeep because that thing was
do a rendering of the award, Steve, and we'll start putting the rendering of the award out of what it'll be. And
did you guys see what Roth's done to the Jeep?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with it.
What has he done?
Oh, fucking full extreme everything.
My fucking boy got that welder out, son.
Okay.
Yeah. Steel cage floor, roof, fucking dash, roof. Yeah, it's
so I have our topic for next week. So
okay, what is it?
There used to be a time in car audio, not that long ago, where if you bought a vehicle built, you would be bullied until you sold that motherfucker. Relentlessly bullied.
Until somebody that wasn't a little bitch fucking did it and was like, eat a dick, I'll slap the fuck out of you. And then everybody's like, oh, it's okay, he's cool.
Yep. I want to talk about that because I remember vividly when I first got the Tahoe with just a shell and a baffle that I designed.
I really feel like I still, dude. I feel like if you're a real bass head, like if this is your real hobby, something you really love, like you still should get your hands in there on something. Like fucking.
No, I agree with something.
I mean, I don't know, but at the same time, but unless you have zero time. But like you love it and you have money, then that's different.
But then Jim installed all of his audio systems at home and all of his work trucks and everything else. He put a kicker 15 and an amp and a box and some mids and shit in his work van, and it's fucking. He asked me a little bit about fucking tuning it because he wasn't sure how to work with the DD1. You know what I mean, Jim? You saw Jim swap all of his alts at
100%. Yeah, Jim is a bass head,
but
he's got money to have you build something badass. Right. But he also will fucking spend 4 hours.
He'll build that shit on his dude. Jim could fucking build shit that would be gangster as fuck. But he wants something that's beyond what he has the time, equipment, and effort to be able to do. So he's happy to fucking pay us.
That's why I'm not building I did not build the dash or the doors of my Tahoe because I know I want it a level beyond what I can physically do. I've never been the one to be like, you have to build it. Because that don't make sense. I want shit better in some ways than I can do.
That's exactly why I took the Explorer up to Bobby's, because it's going to cost me more money, but it's going to save me fucking months of time, router bits, maybe a finger. Who fucking knows? But
it's definitely going to turn out how I want it.
So, But still, I feel like even if you don't have the skills to maybe do the building part, you gotta want to get your hands dirty in some part of the build.
But you can always tell whenever, because there are. I'm not saying any name. There are multiple people with builds, big ones, that at this point you can tell they never touch it, but at a show because they don't know how to run it. They don't know what the vehicle wants anymore. Right. You know what? Like my boy Price. That's my boy. When he stopped daily driving the Tahoe like he used to do, he quit knowing it as well. That's just a fact. That's just what it is. Like these big builds, you have to be inside it. You have to
That's
learn
why
what
he
they
has so
want.
much trouble operating it. Also because he's not as involved in the build as he probably should be for it to be an operational vehicle.
Well, and then it was built.
Been taken
It had that
advantage
stupid
of a
horn
couple
with the
layers over.
thing. No, but
Yeah,
I'm
the
just
build
saying, like,
itself obviously wasn't up to par,
yeah.
but like Bobby's saying, like when and just like you're saying too, when you don't know the build super well because it's not your input, it's not
Yeah.
you don't know what problems it had and the solutions, like you don't know a lot of things that went into it, so you're just kind of there like hoping you're doing things right, like you said.
But then you can really, like, obviously it's not just him that does this. He's still going to use as an example because but there's a lot of people like that who build, show up and break immediately because they just. I mean, y'all know how it is. You have to play with these things, and you can't just get in there and go rip on any song and hope it works. This is not how it works.
Well, not only that, but also like the more you play with it, obviously the better it gets because you like how often
You
you
learn
first
how to.
test, or not how often it's every time. The first time you ever do any testing compared to 5 months later, it's a completely different build, and you really didn't do
without
anything
even
besides
changing
learning how to play
anything.
it.
You just learn how to play it. Yep.
So that's for sure. All right, boys. Good episode. Dinner time.
Yep.
See
Gonna go
y'all
watch Halo.
Halo?
Yeah, the new Halo series on Paramount Plus. It's really good. Really good.
Okay. I'll check it out.
I'm like Steve. I'm not ashamed to say I've had Bobby and Drew, but I have so many people involved in my build. I mean, dozens with input or helping with things.
The only thing that affected my build in a, I wouldn't say it's a negative way, but a lot of people think Bobby built my car now, which is the only thing. Like, motherfuckers, I put so much blood, sweat, and tears in this thing.
He didn't weld any of that shit. It gave the audio.
Yep. That's like the one thing that,
like, motherfuckers watch. You're like loading woofers in and out of it. I'm watching you on a live feed. How the fuck? Yeah.
But it's cool. I don't care.
I haven't seen anybody that just totally thought that we built your build. But I think there's people that have been like, dude, them fucking doors and that roof shit is gangster. And I'm like, yeah, fucking me and Steve came up with that shit. Like that. That's someone local. Concept. You described what we have on that roof, Steve.
Someone local built the box for the wagon,
together.
right?
It was something we did together. Like, I don't know how to do the computer design stuff. I have ideas in my head.
Yeah,
you have ideas in your head, and we put them together, and boom, bam, we got doors.
Joey from Brutal Sounds built the box, right? And then we did all the finish work, whatever. People think Bobby built it because it's like has that gray color. I'm like, bro, Bobby didn't put a hand on this thing until he got hurt, until he got to do it. Chill out.
I didn't touch that motherfucker. Shit.
I wish you could have, because it was only 9 days. Man, I was really tired.
People were like, what do you think of that box? I'm like, it's built with the wrong material. It'd be louder if it was built with the right shit.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not going to lie. Every time I see a stained,
that's like a gray color, I'm like, Bobby.
Perch build, I'm like, Bobby built that. Or that came from Bobby. I don't know. It's just a signature look, I guess.
Yep. Elon Musk.
Nobody did it that way until I fucking did it. Everybody's like, I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's like, you could do your own fucking way. Nobody's going to be mad at you.
Like, no, but I think you honestly
you can't blame them for wanting to do what works.
I think you made stained enclosures and stained parts of a build.
Yep.
You made it way more popular.
Daniel Powell started the gangster looking plywood shit before I did.
Right.
I had done some cool shit, and I had built things I was building shit out of ply and upholstering it.
See, like,
I liked it.
That's my style.
I saw fucking old silver, and I was like, "Damn, dude, that's dope." I was like, "Shit." And then I put some black stain on a box, and fucking bam, and it went. Now it's clearly my own fucking way, but like, there's a lot of motherfuckers that have no integrity that are like, I could fucking do that shit. And like they emulate it and they make it look, half as good, and they want to fucking say that I'm an asshole and rip people off because they can sell one out of their garage for half my price.
And hey, the wood stuff looks good. A lot of stuff looks great. It's not my. I don't personally want it in my build. That's just my style. I want something different, but
Yep.
I
I
can
think my
appreciate it.
one of my favorite parts about having the stained wood is anytime something goes a little wrong, a little scratch, a little dent, a little something, it's just a little sandy, a little put a little more stain back on there, and it's gone. That's like
That is not that's not gonna be no, because I want to do like full, every panel wrapped in vinyl LED, like mobile toys looks like, that type of that's my style. That's what I like. And that means anytime there's damage occurs, it's gotta be like pulled apart, rewrapped, pain in the ass.
I'm glad I don't have to do that because there's plenty of little spots in the wood here and there, like in the seat or here and there. That I scratched or it was like, oh,
Which is
it's
that
gone.
was one of my biggest concerns with having, considering having mobile toys do the interior tiles. I mean, they're 6 hours away. This shit's going to break. I'm like, I don't. So anyway, that ain't happening. Mobile toys isn't gonna build it. Ain't too far away. But
Cool. Shit.
Then
So a while ago, somebody was asking about the Sky High Barbecue. So I talked to John a few days ago. I was up at Sky High, delivered a bunch of boxes up there, and he was telling me he's still trying to nail down. They have the location picked out, but they're trying to still jump through some hoops to nail that all down. And if it works out the way that it's looking like it's going to work out, some really cool shit should be happening with shows out in the Reno area this coming year. So stay cool and be patient. And Sky High Barbecue is going to happen on some level, but the longer we're patient about it, then the likely the more awesome things will be. So gonna be
I think this is I'd say a blessing in disguise because hopefully this pushes it back to September because the fall barbecue I prefer because it's not like this May or March and May, dude. It's so packed with shows. Like I couldn't even squeeze in a barbecue right now if you happen to do it in the next 2 months.
Yeah, there's no chance.
Yeah, there's just shows all over the place.
Eric, base ride, they do stay pretty, and the rebuild of Tahoe is going to. It may be a part-time job, but it will stay pretty. It will.
They can. You just have to spend a lot of money.
How many audio builds you seen, Eric Humphreys?
Yeah, clearly none, because them motherfuckers all. Like the only way you see a Gately audio build that isn't pretty is if it is Saturday afternoon and they are fixing it, so it's taken apart. And even then, you're looking at it like, damn, that motherfucker built nice. Damn, who built that?
Or an MTI build. The fucking Christopher Pete is a fucking G. The motherfucker is. Man, me and Colt were looking at. Me and Colt and Gavin we were on the MTI site today looking at the fucking gangster shit they build for C10s. We all have C10s and we love C10s. And fucking the only people I know that love C10s more than us is fucking Chris.
It's Chris Pate. Boy, he loves it.
God, bro. Like I'm like, oh my god, look at that fucking door. And Gavin's like, it doesn't have any speakers. And I'm like, it doesn't need any fucking speakers. It's beautiful. This is a fucking art piece. Like Chris has the most beautiful aesthetic. Oh, dude, he's the best, man. He's so good, dude.
So here we got. This is a car called Thanos. This is a mobile toys build.
Yes.
It's a Challenger. So think about the inside of a Challenger.
Yeah.
SQ build. Let me see what else we got here.
That's sexy. I fucking love every bit of it. But man, no, like that's all great. That's cool. Fucking show those fucking goddamn that white C10. Because like as sick as the fucking Thanos build is, that fucking white C10.
Dude, the white C10
is just like
I like the other one. The it's still white,
the
but
Apache.
I'll find a picture of it.
Like on another motherfucker level too, but
the one that sold at Barrett Jackson's for 170 something. That one.
Oh, I'm not sure which. I remember that, but I can't remember in my mind exactly. Yeah,
I may have to go to Chris's personal Facebook because they're like their business page is just so full of awesomeness. Scrolling. Scrolling so much. But like, and it's wild. It's like people copying your boxes, right? Like we see them all the time. People copying mobile toy stuff. It's like you see people trying, but they're trying. They're
Nobody's
not doing
copying shit of my truck boxes, but I'll tell you, there's fucking 24 motherfuckers that are literally building those MTI boxes, and because they trained them how to do it. So,
Yep. Yeah, that was definitely a weird.
There's one fucking dude that is a like online fucking shit talker that has duplicated the aesthetic of my production boxes, but they're and nobody's fucking even close on the truck boxes.
This is one that I like a lot.
Yeah, that thing is fucking dope as fuck. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, just come on,
dude. And it's an incredibly beautiful aesthetic, and the precision of all of it coming together is unfucking matched.
This is one of the reasons I really want you to come to the show.
No, I know. I fucking know.
This car it doesn't sound like a car, and it fucks with you so bad because it sounds like you're sitting in a proper room. You close your eyes, you're like, oh, I'm in a building. I'm officially in a building. Just crazy.
Damn, when is Aggie land?
3 weeks, April 9th and 10th. It's worth flying to Houston and coming up.
The biggest problem right now is that there's a fucking eclipse this year.
I know.
Right in that time frame. The fucking flights are astronomical, dude. Like, I'm like, maybe I'll drive. And I'm like, I don't want to drive to fucking Texas. Fuck.
Oh, so this is the truck that made me start really looking at their new body interiors. This one. Boy, that whole door panel. But the mobile toys pricing is real too. So people in the comments, I want you to guess at how much you think this interior. This is a single cab. I want you to guess at how much you think this costs.
20 grand. Probably more.
60K. 60, right?
This way.
Like including equipment, you're just talking about like the panels and stuff.
Just the interior. I don't think any equipment was included in the price that I'm aware that I know.
I'm guessing 60K.
But like this is what I want the Tahoe to look like that level of like.
I don't think it's quite that high, but it's 30.
It was 30 for a single cab interior. 30.
Yeah, there is only a single cab.
Yes, it is only a single cab, which
yeah.
But I mean, like, and I would love to see I want to see Bobby do some vinyl work, bro. Oh man, I just know that.
Have you not, like, dude?
A little bit.
Not like, I wrap everything. I'm a fucking rap guy. I'm good. Motherfuckers don't want me to, really.
Inside,
you know what I mean?
Inside the door, yeah.
Yeah, that's gangster.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers don't.
I lied.
They want me to shape plywood. Everybody wants me to shape the plywood.
The rating is wrapped. Duh. And I told you to take. I've looked at it. I always think of the beautiful wood stuff you do. I forget that
there's a lot of wood in there too, but yeah, there's a lot of it fucking wrapped. Lots and lots of wrap fillers, lots of wrap shit. But I mean, I'm not on that level with a lot of these things.
I would never be on
doors like that. Like, what machines do they use for doors like that?
Dude,
like
the machines just like I'm just as well equipped. A lot of the stuff they're doing, it's really. It's Chris and the guy fucking Edgar, and they draw all that shit 3D design and they machine it out.
And James.
Some of it's MDF, which I'm not a big fan of, but a lot of it is precision board, and I am a big fan.
Because I'll say it looks like it's like the kind of plastic they use for door panels. You know, like once they get the
anything that looks like plastic is like
precision board, and they shoot it with fucking primer, and for the most part, I'm pretty confident that's what they're doing.
What is precision board?
It's like foam MDF that costs twice the price of acrylic.
Really?
This was one of the first. I saw this box, and then the first one of the first. It might have been the Post Malone box. Anyway, y'all both did like $10,000 speaker box builds, like within a couple of weeks of each other, and it was just so crazy how different they were.
Right.
And you both just gassed each other up. It wasn't like, oh, I can do better than that. You're like, nah, bro, that's badass.
Right. Nope. I mean, what the fuck? Like, that's all OG fucking gangster shit that he steal anybody's concept.
And then yours
He didn't
all
use
acrylic.
anybody else's aesthetic. He didn't they didn't do any of that lame ass bullshit that so many other motherfuckers do. Look at those fucking doors.
Those are sick. Go back
That
to
is
that.
This
sick
is for
as
the
fuck, man.
this is for
God
the Tesla
damn.
audio truck from
So Ford, right?
yeah, big ass Ford truck. This is for Tesla audio.
That
Those
is
are cool.
fucking gorgeous, man.
And like it's simple. That's what I like. It's like it
It's not
blends
that
in.
simple, but it's not that complicated either.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Those speakers are cool looking.
Mhm.
Those look like the Morels, right? Those are the Morel, like the little
probably.
pancake ones. Are this fucking thing? They're literally the
I'm
whole
still trying to find pictures of the white C10.
driver
I haven't seen
is
them.
fucking like 7/8 of an inch fucking thick. It's wild.
But yeah, so like your box, that is all acrylic. No one's doing that. No one's even coming close. But
And
it's just-
nobody's come close to that thing either. That
and
box
so it was
you
that, and then from Aggie Light one year, the Raiden had just finished, and they had just finished a truck. Both were $100,000 stereo builds. So different. I was just like, man, this is. I love this industry. How different this can be, and how, like the Raiden, both Ford trucks too. Oddly enough,
right behind fucking Gately Audio and right behind MTI, there is a line of fucking losers that are like, I'm half the price. And I made it kind of look like it a lot, and fuck that guy.
Actually,
You know?
here's that $100,000. Here it is. How convenient. So it's very simple. So twin mid bases in the doors. So 2 mid bases in each door. That enclosure is bolted to the floor, and like
that looks good. I bet this one sounded better than the other one that you showed.
Probably.
But
that's the one.
aesthetically, it's real set. They're both
Were those all Utopia subs?
Yeah.
It's not the subs. It's more of the upfire. I feel like is more often better than a downfire. I haven't heard one that I was like, "Yep, that sounds really good." When it's loud, it's always.
This doesn't even make
like,
sense.
damn, man, fuck, god damn it, I'm hearing like carpet flapping around shit. But yeah,
this doesn't even compute.
That shit is super sexy. It's what's so gangster about that build right there is that so much of it is original, but it's way more precise than what it was original, right? Like
that's what I like.
Clearly, I can see this. Like there were never those cars were never that accurately assembled as what that was there, and then all the custom shit they did. It's definitely custom because you never saw anything that resembled that, but it flows with the classic. Like Chris's fucking vision is fucking outstanding, man. It's so good. Chris and Brian File are the fucking. They have the most beautiful fucking vision. I absolutely love that shit.
At MasterTech this year, Chris's wife won the door panel drawing contest by Chip Foose.
That's cool.
Like that shit just permeates throughout mobile toys. So many people are at such a high level.
Absolutely.
Which I mean, but that's when you work around people at such a high level, that's where you end up.
That's sick.
If you want to, that's like if someone went to work for Bobby and they just wanted like, hey, I want to be that next. I want to do it. Well, guess what? Bobby's going to help you get there. He'll do everything he can if you put in the work.
My guys, fucking like my man Anthony today is our production manager, and he does almost all the toolpath stuff. Like I design all the shit and I hand it off to him, and a lot of times he'll put all the drill points and figure out how the box. He innovated a way to make parts align and snap together over the last week or so, and he was like, "Hey, I want to make sure you're okay with this. I'm gonna create this and this," and I was like, "Try it, see what you get." And if you need to modify it, make it fucking be whatever it needs to be. That's a really good idea. And like, it took him a couple tries, and then he was like, check this out. And he like showed me how the parts went together. And I was like, man, we don't have to grab a clamp and clamp this and then start putting the screws in. It just wants to fucking stay that way. You put the adhesive, you put the parts in, you press the dowels into place, and you start putting screws in. And it was fucking amazing. I was like, God damn, that was fucking fantastic, dude.
This is how you kill back waves in your door for those still
Oh
watching.
shit, I'm seeing this.
Checkerboard black hole tiles.
Nice.
And then
Hey,
there's
boys, you guys can keep going if you want, but I'm gonna bounce.
I'm gonna hop
I
off.
gotta go.
No, we gotta
Yeah, we could be here all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is why we made this shows, because if we're not careful, we tried to stop this show an hour ago. So
I know.
Yep.
all right, kids.
I gotta get some.
I'm gonna go fix my fucking engine noise.
Same.
And I'll fucking see you guys later. Fucking love you guys. And we'll see you next week.